up with a new feature.
Yeah, they are all the time. What up, Biddy?
What up, Biddy? Sis? What up, Cindy?
Man, listen. It's always a new feature.
Always
a new
like
feature.
I went to hit the button and it's like local recordings, turn on or off. What the fuck? What are you saying to me?
What do you even mean? What are you talking about again?
Right. And there was no tool to.
I know what they're talking about. So this week I had to record an interview. I'm gonna do one with you actually once you get more of your stuff together. I recorded an interview with Christopher Colburn about his IP, right? Asked him a whole bunch of questions, blah, blah, blah. And when I went to download it.
Oh, shit. What up, McKenna?
Hey, McKenna. And when I went to download it, that's when I got all this local shit. And apparently, it records one for you, audio and video for you, audio and video for me, then one for, the whole thing together. What up, Lawson? Sean P. Like, yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's helpful.
It is.
If you're editing,
If you're doing a shit ton of editing, yeah, sure.
Luckily, generally, outside of some extreme fucking outliers, our audio is pretty good.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right. It was touch and go at first.
Nigga.
It was definitely I think of them earlier episodes, man.
Bruh. Yeah. But even those anomalies that get sprinkled in every now and then, like that one episode where nobody could fucking hear me.
Oh yeah,
because I had Studio One open.
That's what it was. Yo, your ass, yo.
Oh God.
Ass. That shit was wearing your goddamn sound card out.
It's true though.
It is 100% true.
It's factual.
Yes. Listen, you have no idea. You know,
nigga, we just talking what? We just talking about that yesterday. What up, sis? We were just talking about that yesterday. Like, yo, we need to leave. We need to be gone.
We was just talking about this yesterday.
These motherfuckers, yo,
bro. I can't, man.
Actually, it's time to start.
It is, isn't
it? Yeah.
Let's get this intro out the way. Me, and me too.
Okay. All right.
Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SPJ. And I am Tombstone's the Dead Man, and we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective. Facts indeed. Now, if you look at the title of this episode, it says generational curses. And I'm here to tell you, I am chock full of them. Like, you know how you get a fresh cup of cocoa and it happens to have all these marshmallows in it and shit. Those marshmallows represent generational curses that I carry with me on an everyday basis. You know what I'm saying?
What up, Cosmic?
What up, Cosmic? If you really want to know, like my wife fairly recently has said while talking to a business partner, my husband is angry. He's angry. He's an angry man. He's an angry man. And the person's like, no, but I met him. He doesn't seem like
you're not aware.
My husband is an angry man. Like, who disguises a lot of the rage with trolling.
He has a certain, as much as I hate to admit it, you have a certain level of decorum that others don't possess.
They don't possess it.
So
you know what I'm saying, but very, very angry.
Right.
And I'm certain that's part of the generational curse.
Oh, nigga.
Because my biological father was angry. Angry man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure his real father was an angry man. He was an angry man too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, speaking of being angry, a lot of this is gonna be fussing. I didn't even think about that before you said that, but yeah, a lot of this is gonna be fussing. Oh, yeah, let me.
It is what it is.
I mean, at this point,
nobody does it better.
Oh my god! All right, so on the docket for today, I guess we'll start off with Usher's halftime show. So for those that don't know, Usher Raymond did
Deacon
the halftime show for the Super Bowl, and it was what it was always going to be. Usher is a performer artist to the highest degree. There are very few of that type of performer left currently, just because of how things have gone in the industry. So pretty much you know that when you get one of those, it's going to be a show.
Yeah, it's going to be a show.
So obviously there were a certain type of people who had problems with the shit.
Until, by the way, some other artists that they identify with does something, and then they invented this
nigga. Don't get me started.
It happens a lot, bro. It happens a lot.
Don't get me fucking started. But anyway, should I do this article first, or should I? Yeah, I guess I'll do the article first. All right. To the point where people was making up shit. To be clear, this Super Bowl was, I believe, at the point that it happened. I don't know if anything has happened since, because the way time and things move, whatever. But the Super Bowl was the highest watched anything.
I read that.
Ever in life. Nothing that has ever happened has been watched more than the Super Bowl that just passed. And I don't remember the exact numbers, but Usher's halftime show either maintained that viewership or increased that viewership.
Interesting.
I can say honestly, a good portion of the halftime shows either maintain or increase. The reason that I said that this time, though, is because of this Deadline article, which headline says, Usher fizzles in Super Bowl halftime show despite Alicia Keys and guest stars.
He fizzled.
Lore. He fizzled.
I'm really trying to figure out how can you say both things at the same time? How can you say that he maintained or added to the watch numbers by his performance, and then say he fizzled? Fizzled in what way? Like, did he have on a outfit that looked like one of those old school Coca-Cola bottles? Every time he danced, the top of his hair fizzled.
I hate you so much right now. So I have an answer for you, and it's not actually. I mean, it is the obvious answer, but it's not. It's more specific than the obvious answer. What I believe is that they wrote this article before it happened.
That happens though, bro.
At least most of the article. I haven't read the article yet, but based on the timing of when it released, I feel like they wrote this article before the show happened. So let's get into the article with Taylor Swift. Now, here's the thing.
What's the thing?
How are those the first three words of an article about a halftime show with Usher with Taylor Swift are the first three words?
Here's that's weird. Here it is though. All right. I know that there is this movement, especially in the last a few weeks to make us dislike Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I don't know her to dislike her.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
What up, Random?
What up, Random? I don't know her to dislike her, and I can't. I'm not.
But the thing about that though is a lot of people will take your ambivalence and move it over to dislike.
They will. Like here's the thing. Everything I've ever seen, just from an artist standpoint, some of the stands she took.
Yeah, not when. Hold up. To be clear, when Tim says artist, he's not talking about creative.
No,
he's talking about how they handled. Yeah,
the way she handled herself and the stances she's taken on streaming. I'm not mad at her.
The fact that
you want me to be mad at
recorded her songs so that she can have the masters and all that good shit.
That's good shit. Like
that's blueprint shit.
Facts. So if you want to say I should be mad at her because she went to a ball game to watch her boyfriend play,
right?
That's not enough for me to be angry. I'm sorry, it's not.
No, I don't really care that much about that part of it. But this is where an issue comes in, where again the article is about Usher's halftime show and the first
talking about, of course,
bruh.
Trying to get clicks, sir.
I mean, nigga, with Taylor Swift and the 65,000 strong crowd at Sunday Super Bowl in Las Vegas, Usher couldn't have had any illusions about who had the greatest star power and the media's attention as he hit the field for the halftime show. Nigga, I'm just reading the article.
Yo, are they doing
I'm just reading the article.
You trying to
just reading the article. Hey, listen, I'm just reading the article.
Jeez, man.
Mind you, he never said anything like this.
He ain't saying
none of this shit came out of his mouth. Okay, let me continue. So, battling some initial microphone problems, the slick R&B singer and the producing team of DPS with Jay-Z's Rock Nation and Jesse Collins leaned in hard to the showmanship that Usher always has done best and hoped for the best. Let me say this before I continue this article, because I've seen a lot about this and people. We tend to do this thing where we attribute noise from social media to the same people, no matter if we know it's the same people making it. So I'm probably doing a little bit of that when I say, hey, listen, it's a standard practice.
Yeah.
So fuck it. Right. Y'all memories be weird. Cause I remember.
You remember?
I remember when Jay-Z first made this deal with the NFL, and I was expressing how this ain't what y'all think it is. Like y'all was all over this man, talk about how terrible this was and blah, blah. I said, this ain't what y'all think it is. This is, but the prevailing narrative from us these last, what has it been, 5 years or so? Yeah. Oh, these some of the blackest. Yes, that was his point. That was why he was there. That's literally nothing else. Right. It wasn't about any of the other things you think it should. Actually, I'm gonna talk more about that later. Let me finish this article. Hope was not enough. Even when the ripped Usher stripped off his shirt halfway through and her came out to offer some solid gold guitar licks. In no small part, Her's extended stint on stage at Allegiant Stadium unveiled the staid mechanics of Sunday's halftime show, as it was clearly intended mainly to give Usher enough time for a costume change and the opportunity to put on roller skates. All right, let me stop right there. There is nothing novel about that.
No.
There's nothing. If any fucking concert, big show, performance, there are times when the artist changes costumes. Bro, when that happens, there's something else on the stage to keep people's attention.
I got 2 words for you. Patti LaBelle. Y'all got for real. Like,
from Beyonce to Missy Elliott to
Stephanie Mills.
I'm sure there are a bunch of white artists. I just can't think of them at the time. But It's not this isn't a new concept. Like, what are you talking about? All right. Are you ready to get crazy? Usher pleaded with a crowd he should have been holding in his hands. They were not ready to get crazy, or maybe they were too busy craning their necks to see what Swift was up to.
Yo, you doing the most now.
The overall dull result was more snapping dance moves and collaborations that a DJ Khaled out. Okay, the editor didn't do their job. Then a DJ Khaled album and a 15-minute extravaganza that had everyone, everything, and the bedazzled kitchen sink. Starting off with 2000s. I'm not reading all that. Blah 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 blah. Even with the past protege Justin Bieber in the stadium, but not on stage, as well as Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Gwen Stefani, and the man himself, Jay-Z, in VIP seats, you would expect no less from the veteran song and dance man. Yet, as tight as the tone and pacing of the performance was, Usher felt very 20 years ago and fled.
See, I did. All right, so let me say this: I didn't watch it because I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I could give a fuck about. I may have paid attention to it if the Ravens were playing, but
right,
I didn't give a fuck about it. But this sounds like this man's opinion about how flat it was. I didn't see it to be able to co-sign him saying that this performance was flat. And considering all of the social media buzz, right, that shit got, it doesn't seem like it was so flat.
I just don't. I'm not finishing this article. Note on Justin Bieber. Usher apparently, I have not sourced this.
Right.
Apparently, apparently Usher asked him to be a part of the show, and he declined because he felt like it wasn't the move to make. And I don't know why, but if I had to guess, I would probably say it had something to do with the overall theme of what Usher was trying to do. Like, I've read this. Fuck, I wish I would have grabbed the.
What was the overall thing? Because I didn't see it. I just saw.
So there were a bunch of fucking references and tributes and all types of shit that Usher was doing. It was absolutely. I hate to sound so grandiose, but it was a celebration of Black music. Oh. There were tributes to Prince and tributes to like his longtime drummer that died last year. He had 2 drum sets on the stage. One was untouched. That was for his drummer that passed. Wow. It was just so much. It was so much stuff crammed into a 13-minute performance that the only thing I can give this person credit for, I don't know if they're Black or white, but if they are white, I can give them credit to say that there was a lot of Black shit happening.
Motherfuckers gave these motherfuckers a style to run with, and all they do is just talk shit.
Bruh!
Give you a style to run with.
There was a lot of Black shit happening, so it's possible that he just didn't catch some of the stuff that was going on.
Maybe that's another thing too.
Yeah,
there was a lot of references and subtext that he just didn't catch because he doesn't understand the cultural relevance of it.
Right,
that could have been it too.
But anyway, now this is a tangent, but it's kind of related. So people, I would like. I know it's not gonna happen, but I would like people to understand. So, what up, Gray?
What up, Gray?
I would like people to understand certain things, right? People are allowed to care about their personal well-being. Now, we recently had a conversation about macro versus micro.
Yes.
Actually, that was last week. Let's kick a couple things back and forth because I've been seeing some takes on the internet recently that are clearly losing the plot. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Push back when you disagree. Individuals who belong in a capitalistic society need to practice capitalism. Is that true, false, or is the answer more nuanced?
Need? I think the answer might be a little more nuanced, but it leans towards you're in the system, you have to use it to do what you. But it is more nuanced,
right?
But it leans towards you live here. Like I just know from my standpoint, they tend to favor business owners here, so I'm a business owner.
There's
Right?
levels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's levels.
Okay. That's what I thought
Yeah.
you said. So you know I'm going with nuanced.
Yes.
So failure to practice capitalism with some degree of competency here is akin to death.
Yes.
Also, billionaires are still evil.
Yes.
Also, having personal aspirations is not inherently bad.
No, it depends on. No, it's not inherently bad. It depends on what the aspirations are. Like if it's my aspiration to drag all of you apes to a pit of despair so dark.
Listen.
Okay.
Depending on which apes, that's not bad.
Some of these.
So I've seen takes like the idea of
Bowflex.
What up, Bowflex? I've seen takes like the idea of moving to a different country in order to have your money stretched further is evil.
I agree.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
Listen, y'all need to stay here and spend all your money. Don't listen to the. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yo,
pay no attention.
Another take I've been seeing recently. Keith Lee is a capitalist that is exploiting struggling restaurants for personal gain in the same way. Wait. Let me land. This is all one thought. This was one tweet.
Okay.
Keith Lee is a capitalist that is exploiting struggling restaurants for personal gain in the same way that restaurant owners exploit hungry people for personal gain.
Nah. Listen. You know, these people that make shoes and shit, they are exploiting barefooted people for their own gain. Right? You know,
I'm glad you used that example. Wait, I'm so glad you used that example because again, there is a difference. There is a macro conversation and there's a micro conversation.
Exactly.
The people that make shoes, they do exploit child labor.
Yeah, yes, they 100% do. 100%.
But they're not exploiting people who want to wear shoes.
So you needed a Phillips head? Is that what you needed? See, why you ain't just give it to him? Why are you selling it, Walmart?
Like, bro, what do you mean? Okay. It's like it reminds me of that dumbass person who said that bragging about your weight loss is the same thing as telling your fat friend that you hate how they look.
Nah.
Or more broadly, the idea that wanting to lose weight is fat phobia.
Nah.
Or like the dumbass people on Twitter that are calling people who point out obvious signs of mental decline in Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Ageism.
Obvious. By the way, y'all, it is possible to agree with small statements by people who overall don't agree with. For instance, I overall don't agree with Nikki Haley, but I will say when she said the first to get rid of that 80-year-old boomer,
bruh. Nigga,
I agree. I agree. Just saying.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, bruh, like I get the point that you're trying to make, but talking about how old he is ageism. That's not how that works. Bro, there's a clear delineation.
It is.
And there is a clear connection to mental degradation and age.
Bro, let's stop playing these games because when we want to joke around about it,
right?
We talk about ourselves. Now, I don't remember that. You know, I'm getting old. I don't remember.
That's right. That's okay.
That's okay. But when you want to talk about somebody who has arguably the most important job, public job in the world,
right?
We can't make a comment about, hey, yo, I'm watching this man, and there's some degradation happening there that is concerning to me. And I'm not saying that he does that it's across the board with him. Right. I'm sure there are things that he is about, but there is a lot of other things that we are witnessing that don't look right. And it ain't just him. It's also the other guy.
Right.
Orange Julius.
My argument
is also him. So
with the other guy, it's just that he's so unhinged in general.
He's unhinged.
That nobody attributes it.
Yeah. The thing is, he's unhinged and looks energetic when he speaks. Like, one thing I noticed about apes apes are super attracted to the vivid other than the vague.
Right.
So if you're looking for a certain type of thing and something on this side gives you the most shallow version of it, but it's bright and it's shiny, we will completely ignore what's being said over the energy in which they said it.
Yep.
So if Biden says something that you would, if you listen to what he's saying, that you would ordinarily agree with, right? But he says it like this. Basically, 2 + 2 = 4.
Right.
And the only thing apes will hear is, damn, you said that's low as shit, but do you agree? Now, if the other guy says 2 + 2 is 18, and we have to show the world. Like, yo,
facts.
I mean, he's passionate.
Right.
And that's what's happening. But basically, on both sides, there is decline. And the macro point is that, come on, y'all, we got to do better than that.
Exactly.
It's got to be.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not ageism. Like, what are we doing?
Ageism, bro.
What are we doing?
It's saying the obvious. It's right there. I saw Biden the other day. I believe that was I forget which prime minister or president was sitting across from him. But I'm looking at his movements. I'm looking at, he blinks slow. I know the people that's watching, that's listening on the thing can't see me, but his head movements are, come on, bro.
Right.
It's just like with Mitch McConnell. Get up there and do this in the middle of a conference
for like 15 seconds.
But then comes up out of it in denial, like, I never freeze.
Right.
We watched you. We watched you freeze. Yo,
these are clear and obvious symptoms of things that are connected to advanced age.
Also, listen to somebody who knows, a lord of entropy. Entropy comes to us all. You denying it isn't changing the reality that these guys are experiencing entropy in a way that might make them suitable to run an entire country. You saw Obama after, my daughter said this the other day. You saw Obama after his time in there. His hair came out all white.
It was so different.
Come on, bro. Yeah. Come on.
Same thing with Fast and Loose Billy.
Right. What up, free thinker?
What up?
That's a fact.
Same thing. But it's like these people just use as little nuance and context as the people that they are trying to argue against.
Right.
What up, Discord?
Discord.
The one that's more related though to what this topic is, somebody had the nerve to say,
mitigated gall.
Nigga, they said, we asked for reparations and for police to stop killing us, and y'all gave us Usher at the Super Bowl. So, this goes back to that Jay-Z thing. So because Jay-Z because Jay-Z happened to be a voice that was running concurrent with the whole Kaepernick thing, y'all assumed that when he partnered with the NFL, his main purpose was this other shit.
The reason why that was an assumption? Because billionaire, because people are angry, because when you hear the word partner,
right?
It gives a certain connotation to it. Like, damn, you fucking with them like that. Like, I understand because I know apes. I know how apes think, and I know that largely how shit is interpreted with the majority of people is it depends on the environment around it, right? And people are not going to fact check. That's not going to be their first thing. I've seen it. I've implored for years. Did you fact check today? Did you fact check today?
Right.
It don't work. They're not going to do it. So whatever's happening around that statement is going to be funneled into that and people are going to, especially Americans, because there's a serious obesity problem here in the States. Some of these people, the only exercise they get is jumping to conclusions.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
It is. I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? The people that are responsible for doing the things you asked for are not the people responsible for Usher doing the halftime show
at all.
What are you fucking talking about? It's like we can't walk and chew bubblegum.
No, we can't, bro. The idea that we can do that is delusional. Even though I've done it, I've walked and chewed. But that's on the micro.
I just don't get, like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Are y'all devoid of all joy? Like, you understand, right? Yeah. That again, micro versus macro. On the macro level, there are huge systemic issues that exist.
Yeah.
On the micro level, if you let that shit consume you, you'll die quicker.
That's a fact.
So,
and you know what? I'm glad you said it that way, because I do think like a lot of the trauma that has been passed down, it does have tangible effects, shit that you can see. And at a certain point, right, our ancestry had to put up with a lot of bullshit. And in order to do that, they had to compartmentalize what they was worried about.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like we have somehow a lot of us still do it, but I think we do it in a really toxic way. And it doesn't, the purpose of it is that, look, this is a situation that you're in. This is not one that can be fixed with a simple gesture here, a law there. This is an overwhelming thing, and you can be forgiven for feeling like I can't do shit. All I can do is make sure that I'm as mentally stable as I can be and as stress-free as I can be.
Right.
And if that means that some stuff I am going to have to say, I can't take that cognitive burden. Like, I want to be mad at it. I don't think it's right. But the amount of energy that's going to take for me to fully be enraged about this thing here, it's not good for me. It's not good for the people around me. And I have to prioritize myself for the fights that I know I can handle. Right.
Absolutely.
And it's like you said, bro, like on a micro, if you are fucked up about this shit had 400 years to get this fucked up. Right, you jumping off the handle and having your blood pressure go all the way up over every microaggression, over everything. It's not good for you.
Not at all.
It's not good for you.
It's not worth it.
It's not.
And people pretend to not understand it, because I do legitimately believe that it is our instinct to self-preserve.
Yeah.
So somewhere they know that this is the case,
right?
But they pretend as if they don't, because it's almost like a form of imposter syndrome. I'm pretty sure there's an actual term for what I'm talking about.
I definitely think that it's a form of that. Maybe, like you said, there's a different term, but there's another thing too. It's something that I actually have addressed in my music about complexity of the brain. Gives us as a species, it gives us a lot of shit, but it also fucks us up.
Yep.
Like certain things we can conjure, other animals that don't have that higher cognitive function don't. Yeah. So that means certain things that we worry about, they don't. You know what I'm saying? They don't, because they don't have that higher cognitive functioning. And the complexity is cool, but sometimes complexity sucks, because you can imagine all kinds of fucked up scenarios to obsess over and allow to live rent-free in our heads, and then of course affect our behavior and health and everything else. I do it myself. I literally, after a series of life flat out clotheslining me, picking me up for the body slam, throwing the elbow pad out to the crowd.
Yo, you know what's funny about this setup? The next topic is about wrestling. That's hilarious.
That's funny, right? Look, I didn't know this, y'all. I didn't know this. So after it drops the people's elbow on me, it has given me anxiety about certain things. I assume the worst in a lot of cases because when I get that blind phone call.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Or that text message that says, we got to talk. I get anxiety from it because those things were attached to your brother died.
Yep.
Your dad just died. Your aunt just died. Your homeboy just died.
Yo, to this day, whenever my mother cold calls me randomly, like we weren't having any conversation.
Yeah.
Whenever she cold calls me randomly, I automatically just think something because she doesn't call me.
Right.
We text normally. Or if I'm supposed to be coming to see her or whatever the case, then she might call. But cold call random in the middle of a day.
Yeah. It's one of them things. Oh shit, what's going on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there is enough things like that contribute to stress and anxiety that you gotta. You are one person. You're not gonna be able to fix it.
You can't fix everything.
Is fucked. You understand what I'm talking? And it's fucked in it's fucked in ways that most Americans don't even know about, won't acknowledge.
Correct.
It's fucked in ways. So there's no way you're gonna be able as an individual to fix all of this shit to a point where you can get to a point where you can go. So that means you gotta carve out a space in this shit show for you to be able to go. You got to do it. Yep. And me, I do it with family. I do it with friends. Something Graydon said after Kobe died, we started seeing just shit different, right?
Yeah.
So when I sign off from talking to a friend, more times than not, now I go, love you, you dumb motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Tell them because you assuming they know, they probably do, but confirm it. Because you don't know if that's the last time you're going to speak to that person. And we whistle past the graveyard all the time.
Facts. All facts. So, like, generally when these type of things happen, I fuss. I am imploring you, learn to enjoy yourselves.
Yeah. Find something, man.
Learn to enjoy yourselves. Like, I'm gonna say this one last time because to just push how egregious this is. We asked for reparations and police to stop killing us, and y'all gave us Usher at the Super Bowl.
Because these are the same people that handled us. I really like.
What are we talking about,
bro? Again, some of this is this conspiratorial nonsense overflowing. You keep thinking that the same people that brought you this brought you that. No. As it turns out, the people in the NFL don't really have much to say over that other shit. They don't, right? So it's like, why are you conflating these two? Because you angry. I get it. And you're probably hangry, right? So take a Snickers or something.
No, I can't stand you.
Look, bro. Anything to avoid these takes. These takes are horrible.
They are based in no real logic.
None.
When you actually look at the take, it's like, what? How did you? Anyway, next up, again, talking about generational curses. Undertaker's old school mentality. I just randomly happened upon this article.
Yeah.
So, for anybody that's not interested, never been interested in wrestling, a quick bit of context. WWE has been the biggest wrestling company for decades, and recently Vince McMahon has been in some shit because of some shit he did. rightfully in some shit.
Yeah.
Effectively, things came out about hush money, and NDAs, and when it got the noise got a little too loud, he was basically forced to resign. In disgrace, which he covered up by saying he was retiring.
Yeah.
Then a couple months later, he forced his way back into the company. After he forced his way back into a company, because basically their TV rights were expiring, and they needed to. That's pretty much their biggest form of income. So they needed that in order for the company to survive. So he basically said, look, I'm not going to, he still had his ownership shares.
Right.
And he said, I'm not going to sign off on any deal unless y'all let me back in. Yeah, that would have literally been death for the company. So
bullied his way in.
He bullied his way back in. He ended up
Nobody should be surprised with that, by the way, if you know the man.
Nah. Here's the wild part, though. He bullied his way back in only to make a deal with the company Endeavor. Right. When I say make a deal, he didn't actually sell the company.
No.
He just made a deal that merged his company with UFC, and the umbrella company created is called TKO Holdings. But under that deal, he no longer had controlling stake and ownership in the WWE. Right. So basically, he sold the WWE for what equates in real time to be $0. There's there's stocks and all that other type shit. Obviously. Right. However, the idea is that the guy, Ari Emanuel, who's in charge of Endeavor, basically just finessed Vince out of his 4-decade-long juggernaut of a company because there were provisions in his contract. What?
Old man cognitive decline.
Nigga, yo,
it's right there in your face.
77. So yeah, so basically he finessed Vince out of his company because he made this deal in which he didn't have to pay anything to get ownership of the WWE, and in Vince's contract was effectively, we can remove you if certain things happen. Mind you, this is after the scandal,
right?
So recently, the scandal came back up. Somebody filed an actual lawsuit.
Get him out of here.
And next thing you know, Vince is making a resignation.
You know goddamn well, bro. Vince in his 40s
would have never.
Yo,
There's
this is the Vince that went up against the United States government
and won.
Listen.
That whole steroid trial and everything, he won.
Yeah.
I mean, he technically lost, but he won.
Yeah. Whatever the government won was a Pyrrhic victory. Like, it wasn't
right. So, tied to that, and part of the reason I brought this up is coming up, two of my favorite wrestlers happen to not like my number one or top three or anything, but just two of the ones that I enjoyed watching.
They
enjoyed the lore of and all that other stuff. Undertaker and Kane, Brothers of Destruction. Well,
I could already tell you what Kane was gonna say, but go ahead.
Nigga, Kane retired a while ago, I retired to become the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee.
I
can't remember what state, but it's Knox
County.
What up,
Ken? Buenos.
What up? So when that happened, all his right-wing shit came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn it. And it wasn't that I was surprised.
For a while, yo.
It wasn't that I was surprised. It was that I was disappointed. Because I was like, maybe, because there are certain people that when you hear them talk, and you kind of think maybe, but they don't necessarily say the things.
Right.
So it's like, all right, maybe. No, it was confirmed. And then in my head, I was like, well, maybe Undertaker's not like this. Well, Undertaker comments on the atmosphere in WWE with Triple H running the show. Undertaker was a WWE superstar for 30 years.
Legend.
And all of those 30 years, Vince McMahon was running the show. WWE is currently running for the first time without any McMahon employed by the company. Vince McMahon's son-in-law, Triple H.
Just saying.
Yeah. Vince McMahon's son-in-law, Triple H, someone Undertaker knows very well. He's currently running the show as WWE's chief content officer. During an episode of his 6 Feet Under podcast, Undertaker praised Triple H for being able to run WWE in such a calm manner. In many ways, the antithesis of what Undertaker was used to under McMahon. But this is the part that I want to get to. Undertaker says there's like this calm backstage. The crew itself, the talent, they're relatively young, top to bottom. They're young people. They're also chill. I've seen Triple H get worked up, but I haven't seen him yell at talent. I haven't seen him badmouth anybody. There are times where you come back through this curtain and you know that an ass chewing is coming. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that with him. Like I said, I haven't been around a whole lot, but I've been around enough and I know him well enough. And I can just tell it's such a chill vibe. For me, I almost don't like it because it's almost too calm. To me, this is just me on the outside looking in. It's like they don't care enough.
That's bullshit. Now listen, I ain't back there at all. And the Undertaker is probably my number one wrestler just from his imagery, not necessarily for his in-ring, even though he has a pretty good in-ring doing errors. But that's bullshit. All you have to do, right, is look at how excited a lot of them kids are,
bro,
to be out there doing that shit. When you get, because here's the thing, this isn't back in the 80s. When you didn't really, the backstage stuff you got was all scripted. Nah,
right.
You got social media, bro. These people are on social media. They're talking about the experience. They're showing how overjoyed they are to be part of certain things. Nah, it's not that they don't care. They care. They care. They just care different. See, the thing is,
they care vastly.
They care vastly different. See, here's the thing, yo. The wrestling business, the industry, was completely different when I was a kid. There was a lot of violations and bullshit happening back then.
Hence why Vince is on trial.
Yeah, Vince is a product of that bygone time in wrestling. Go watch the interviews with Teddy Long telling you the shit he had to put up with back in old NWA WCW.
Right.
It wasn't great, bro. Like the stuff that we was enjoying in front of the camera, it was a lot of shit.
It was completely different behind.
You know what I'm saying? So these times are different. There's more attention on them now than it ever was before. So all it takes is for one of the women wrestlers to come out and say some shit, and you're toast, bro. And so you better treat them like you treated all of those the males. You better make sure they got opportunities.
Actually, hold up. Not just that, though. Also, nowadays, if some shit happened, you're more likely to be dealt with backstage, too.
That's the other thing. Somebody's going to beat your ass.
It ain't just if it get out in the public. No, you're more likely to be dealt with backstage as well.
Your ass. You know what I'm saying? Because when I see them, right, like if you go watch Xavier Woods' YouTube channel, and they come on there, bro, they having a good time. They remind me of my kids. I see them younger ones. They remind me of my kids. They playing video games. They did. Yo, they don't have the same mentality as the old school wrestlers. They don't. They don't. And also, now that WWE is a publicly traded company and all this, there are certain shit they cannot allow.
Correct.
To get out of hand back there. Because I'm telling you,
nigga,
if you let a fraction of the things that used to take place back in the old days happen now, they're gonna shut shit down. They're gonna shut shit down.
Oh, that's what happened. So even though, like I said, I believe this was always Ari Emanuel's plan, he knew that shit was gonna come back up and he was just going to use it to get rid of Vince. But when the lawsuit first came out, it was the day before the Royal Rumble. Slim Jim is one of WWE's biggest sponsors, and they had a sponsorship set up for the Royal Rumble. This was the day. This was the day before the Royal Rumble. They put out a statement. due to the recent allegations and the lawsuit, we need to pause our sponsorship with WWE.
Think about that.
Vince, 2 hours later, put out that statement that he was resigning. He still maintained his innocence, of course he has to. But he resigned from the company. 3 hours after that, Slim Jim said, "We back."
Yo, because listen, any of you that's been watching wrestling for a while, or you haven't, you've seen the commercial with Randy Savage. Stop it, right. Slim Jim. Yeah. Like, come on, like that's one of their oldest sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
They're not losing that money.
No.
Not for your old, decrepit, funny mustache having ass. His mustache is ass now. It is, yo.
Thanks. So yeah, like it just fit in so well with this generational curses theme. It's like
it does.
I get it. I understand that you, no matter how terrible things were, right, in a situation where you thrived, you might look back fondly on those times.
Absolutely. And plus,
our
brains do that anyway. Our brains cut off the bad stuff. I'm sure it was fun. You ain't think about the fact that y'all ain't had much food in the refrigerator.
Bruh.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do? Like, sir, could you please shut up? He hasn't gotten, as far as I've heard, I don't be checking for him like that. But as far as I've heard, he hasn't gotten as bad as Kane. But nigga, like, can you shut up?
Yeah, yo, the thing about the Undertaker is, somebody put me on already, and I saw the picture. He's wearing a blue Lives Matter shirt and all that shit. So I already kind of I see what this is. I see where this is going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And listen, again, his character that he played in WWE is one of my favorite types of characters ever. I patterned a lot of the imagery for my rap career over the last 20-odd years or better, based on that. Mixture between that and the Crow, but it's based on that, right? So I will never take that away from him, but I just know, especially after listening to Teddy Long and some of the shit, some of the motherfuckers that I really liked, idolized, even if they were villains and I love to hate them. Some of the shit they did to Teddy Long told me the whole story. Some of the shit they said to him, some of the threats and shit, and all that other bullshit they tried with him, the shit they wouldn't try with Ron Simmons because they knew Ron Simmons would beat shit down your leg. The shit they didn't try with Haku or a lot of the Samoan.
You wouldn't try with Tony Atlas. You wouldn't try with Tony
Atlas. Yeah.
Facts. All facts. So moving on. The Black National Anthem. Can y'all shut up?
Please.
Can y'all? No. More specifically, can y'all stop acting like shit be new? That's really my big issue. Like, can y'all stop acting like we have not been here before? So, Black National Anthem sends MAGA into meltdown. Prominent supporters of Donald Trump were furious with the inclusion of the Black National Anthem at the Super Bowl. The pregame performances at Super Bowl included a rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing performed by recording artist Andra Day. The hymn, adopted by the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, is often referred to as the Black National Anthem. Former Arizona Senate candidate Kari Lake responded to a picture showing her sitting down during a performance of the hymn at last year's Super Bowl. Lake said on X, formerly Twitter, on Sunday, "I'm still not standing for this divisive garbage. One nation, one anthem." The account and Wokeness added, "There's no such thing as a Black national anthem. If you have a problem with the American national anthem, feel free to leave." Before the game, Representative Matt Gaetz said on Twitter that he would not watch the Super Bowl because they're desecrating America's national anthem by playing something called the Black National Anthem.
Good. Don't watch it.
Newsweek has approached the Las Vegas Super Bowl host committee via email out of hours for content. Others on X enjoyed the inclusion of the song, with one user commenting, "I'm happy to see the Black National Anthem being sang at events like the Super Bowl. Andra Day was excellent. Representation matters." Another added, "Andra Day, you better sing. Such beauty, such power." Hold on, let me Google something real quick because I has confusion.
Yeah, of course you do.
It's
I have reasons to oppose the Black National Anthem that have absolutely nothing to do with what these motherfuckers are saying. One, as a kid, I never liked the song. I was like, can we get something more snazzier? That's the other thing. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna sound like an old Negro spiritual. That's what it sounded like to me. Always wanted something more snazzier. And then as I got older, there were other reasons. I feel like we got to stop the nation within the nation stuff. I get the reason for it because you lived here, you fought and died against the enemies of this country, then come back here and get made to feel like an enemy every day. You felt separate from everything, so of course you had your own. But there is a part of me that feels like, hey guys, they don't fuck with you. So
they don't fuck with you.
Instead of us trying to carve a little space around not fucking with you, it's other places we can go. Maybe be treated a little bit better. Who knows? At the very least, it's different problems than the shit that we have here. And maybe us trying to form shape everything into a way for us to have an excuse to stay is not really it's not conducive to look at our mortality rates. Let's go
facts.
Go look at black mortality rates. Go look at them. You see all these men down in their 50s?
Yeah.
Black men down in their 50s?
All right, I found it. Because I was confused. Because there are times when the mind tricks you.
Yeah,
I was wondering. Yeah, I had confusion. I was wondering if it was me that was wrong,
right,
or everybody else. And generally, if it's everybody else, you got to look at that.
Yeah, you got to look at it. Yeah. If it's everybody else, you need to look at yourself. Because
you got to look at that, bro.
Yeah.
This is the 4th year in a row. They are responding as if this is the first time it's ever happened. Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make this is the 4th year straight.
So let's dial into that part of it. Obviously, this place is so polarized, and I think the question that needs to be asked, and it's never asked, who's responsible for the polarization? Because see, there's a lot of fingers being pointed here, there, Y'all keep talking about racism. That's why we still have racism. Sure. That's why when people talk about them having a cold, they catch a cold. Yeah, all right, whatever. But then there's people on the other side saying, well, you're responsible. Well, no, you're responsible while we're polarized. You know who's responsible for the polarization for real? For real? All those that have a voice that rings out and they're influential to big spans of people in the political space and other lanes here. Why? Because when they do certain things and say certain things, it carries weight because most of these motherfuckers are lemmings, right?
Yeah.
So this shit has gone on for 4 years, 4 times prior to this time, right? And all of a sudden, there's this outrage just because somebody's leading the outrage. Somebody's literally making it a big deal that has a huge platform, or somebody's are doing it, right? And because they have helped foster an environment of discord, no disrespect to my man Discord, because they have fostered this environment, right? Well, we can't talk to each other anymore. Like, we got common fucking sense. We can't talk to each other like human beings anymore. We always got to point the finger. We got to talk shit on each other. We got to say all this crazy shit to each other. Now, every time something like this takes place, all it takes is one provocateur.
Yeah.
With a large platform to go, look at what they're doing to hurt you, as if this hurts you. Them playing the Black National Anthem at a goddamn football game doesn't lessen the money in your pockets.
Correct.
It doesn't take away your health care. It doesn't take away your job. Your kids are shut the fuck up. if you are that adversarial to Black people in this country, when something like that comes on, mute it.
Yep.
just muted.
Go take a piss break.
Do some push-ups or some shit.
Right. Like, because again, it's not like they were in the middle of the second quarter and there was a touchdown throw and the band just started wailing out, lift their voice to sing. No, nigga, it happened before. If I'm not mistaken, it happened before the Star Spangled Banner was sung.
Bro, so, it's not like as soon as a black guy made a touchdown, he started singing Richard Pryor song, "Shall we kill them?"
Bro, like what are you talking about?
Like what the fuck? This is not that, bro.
No.
Yo, listen, when you break down the words of "Lift Every Voice and Sing," find for me an incendiary line, word, phrase, bar, whatever in there. There's nothing. But meanwhile, National Anthem had a third verse.
Yeah.
National Anthem had a third verse that talked about fucking up my ancestors and people that would help them.
Facts.
Now I get it. Motherfuckers are unaccustomed to hearing black people think about their bloodline, their family line, because we've been taught over here to cut that.
Mm-hmm.
Be concerned with your moms and your grandparents, of course. But other than that, they not y'all. That's why they say, well, you were never a slave. As if you have no connection to those people. I got news for you. They were my family.
Facts.
And when The Rock got up there, go back to wrestling real quick, and told Cody Rhodes, when you talk about Roman's blood, you talk about my blood. When you talk about Roman's ancestors, you're talking about my ancestors. And now we have a problem.
Hold up. But he's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong in several. Number one, Cody didn't say anything wrong.
No,
Second,
anything wrong.
Second, they're not actually blood related.
No, they're not. His mom was adopted. But
no, not even that. Not even that. His father. So there are three families that are part of this dynasty that are not blood related in any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
The Anoa'i family, the Maivia family, and the Fatu family do not share blood.
Right, at all.
It isn't even a one person married another person. No.
Right.
It's not even that. So, but anyway, yeah, go ahead.
But basically the point is that everyone else is allowed to have blood ties and family ties and feel a way about what happened to their family. And black people are told they're not to. We're supposed to divorce not just the people from the continent from which we came from us. We're also supposed to divorce all those black folks that literally ate shit and did not buck and did not have a revolution and did not do, even though there was some revolts here and there, but the vast majority did not do that. Just so they could survive, so we could be born, and we're supposed to cut them off and go, we ain't got nothing to do with them. We the only ones they told to do that. Everybody else respects it, because you know why? Because that's a very human thing to do. But if I don't see you as human, I'm not going to have the same expectation for you.
Correct.
Guess what? Those are my folks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here if not for them. Period. So if they were disrespected, what up, Palm? If they was disrespected and violated, I'ma feel a way about it.
Facts. Simple.
That's simple.
Very simple.
There's nothing incendiary about Lift Every Voice to Sing other than the fact that it sounds like a Negro spiritual, and I did not like the song.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a Negro spiritual. It was literally.
I think we need a better jam. We should update it. But that's just me being ass. And
I'm black, y'all. I'm black.
I'm just saying. We could have fixed something else. Like,
I mean,
what year?
I don't think we could have actually picked anything better at the time. No, I don't actually think there were any other options.
You know what artists were?
No, that's not. That's not what happened. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. All right, next topic. God damn it! I tried so hard. I tried so hard. This when we talked about Monique last week,
you sound like Linkin Park. I tried,
nigga. The overall sentiment, that I hope came across with my analysis of it was I was on her side. Mike. What up, Mike?
I was on her side too.
I was on her side. This is we probably had 7 episodes where we talked about Monique. Last week was like the second or third, where at the end of our conversation, I was on her side. I be trying so hard.
I tried so hard.
But then this week came with some more bullshit.
What did she say?
Well, it turns out that Monique may have spent so much time calling everybody else her loves and her sweet babies that she forgot to do so to her eldest son.
Oh no.
Article. It's never a good thing watching a family feud, and I want to push back and say that this black publication made an egregious error by not saying nobody wins when the family feuds, because that's. But anyway, especially in public for all to see and prejudge without all the proper details. Steve Harvey and fun trivia questions, and that's the second fumble. You referenced Steve Harvey. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Anyway. Steve Harvey and fun trivia questions make for a very small exception, but that's another story. Add the aspect of celebrity into the picture, and well, it's a sad situation no matter who's right or wrong. We witnessed what happened. We witnessed that happen recently in the case of comedian Monique. Already the current talk of the town, following a very viral interview on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp and her eldest son, Shalon Watkins Jr. Shalon posts under the TikTok handle show_nomad hopped on recently to make a video addressing the comments his famous mom made in the midst of her 3-hour-long interview in regards to their strained relationship. Although he appears to keep a relatively low profile on social media, the father to a young child himself felt upset by the way Mo made it seem as if there were room for reconciliation. In short, he seems to allude that it was all for the show. Quote, my mother and I both know that reconciliation is a very false narrative, and I would like to free her of having to continue telling that lie. He said, among other things, in a nearly 10-minute long segment, which didn't come off as a rant and was actually very calm in nature throughout. Overall, it appears from his perspective that neither party has a desire to reach out, so to suggest otherwise would be unfair to the truth she fights so hard for.
Wait a second. They're saying that he said this in a very calm manner.
Yeah, he did.
Let me tell y'all something, man. That's how you do it,
bruh. That gives the vibe that this is not an emotional response. Mm-hmm. This is something that was well thought out for long.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're actually at peace with the decision that has been made. I mean, obviously that's not what it always means, but that's the impression that it gives off.
Right.
And basically, because like I watched some of it, I didn't watch the whole 10 minutes, but a part of the beginning, he was saying like, you do not reach out to me and I do not reach out to you. Mm-hmm. So for you to say, she says something to the effect of, I pray to the universe daily for reconciliation. Well, where's the work?
Yeah, faith without work is dead.
Nigga, he said that exact line. So Monique, known to be as transparent as they come. Here's the thing about transparency. And I can't blame Monique for part of it. Mm-hmm. As far as not that it's right, it's just I completely understand. Mm-hmm. When there's a narrative against you that you're trying to fight, it doesn't behoove you to be transparent about certain things.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. As a matter of fact, trying to cover everything under the blanket of transparency is not a tactically good advice or thing to do, because the reality of the situation is some things you do want to keep in the tuck.
Absolutely.
If you plan to see, let me tell you something about these motherfuckers online. These motherfuckers online want you to expose everything.
Yep.
It's the reason why porn is so highly viewed, because these people love to see people expose themselves. And they do that just for their entertainment. Whether or not this affects you, your livelihood, relationships you have with other people, they'll come at you with this horse shit about, I just want to know more about my favorites. Fuck you. You're knowing what they giving you to know. That's it. Because they're still, long before you knew who they were or purchased their music or watched their Netflix special, they were people with relationships. Some of these relationships they value, or they're people with legal issues, right? And this legal issue could cause them their freedom or cost them money. This will negatively affect their lives, all for your online social entertainment. I think not.
Facts.
Discretion is the better part of valor.
Nigga. Absolutely. Back to the article. Monique, known to be as transparent as they come, made her own response via Instagram Live not too long after, sitting as per usual next to her husband, Sydney Hicks. The Queens of Comedy star gave reaction to not only the issues with Shalon, but recent comments made by Stephen A. Smith and Judge Greg Mathis as well. The almost 40-minute reaction, while also calm in nature, did give the impression that her son isn't given the full picture and telling his side, and also might be suffering or at some point suffered from mental illness. I hate the way that they wrote that. So a more accurate description of what they just said is, yes, Monique's response was calm. The whole giving the full picture thing is in reference to Sydney talking about all the ways that they have been there for Shalon financially, which in his video that they are responding to, he said something to the effect of Monique, her way of justifying showing love is through financial things. And when he didn't respond the way that she liked him to, he was deemed ungrateful. Whereas the things that were lacking were the other things. So for them to come back and spit off a list of financial things they've done for him, prove his point.
It really proved his point. I didn't even see that. And I'm wondering, look, I certainly understand people from the outside of a relationship looking in going, well, they gave you money, gave us. But think about this for a second. Even though you might be outside of their particular situation, you have a mom, you have a dad, most of you.
Right.
Was that the most important thing to you?
Bruh, that's what I'm saying. Like, and to be clear, we're talking about a rich celebrity. We're not talking about somebody that's been working a minimum wage job or even a median income. No, we're talking about a rich celebrity that's been rich for most of his life.
What up, sis?
Yeah. What up?
Lady assassin in the house.
Yeah, we're talking about a rich celebrity. So yes, that's what the fuck you were supposed to. I don't understand this whole parents bragging on financial things they did, especially when. So one of the things was, Sydney was like, I remember 3 years ago when you had your baby, your mother sending you money to take care of everything the baby would need. Okay.
Yeah, like
I don't
really.
I don't understand.
I'm trying to figure out what is he trying to say.
I remember we got you your car, and we,
Yeah.
Basically, I don't.
I remember when y'all wasn't there for this. I remember when you said this that really fucked me up. I remember when blah 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 blah. That none of that has anything.
But we paid for your car.
But don't you understand? We paid for your car. What about them Nikes we bought you that time? That's like me saying that. Like Siobhan, Look, Siobhan Malik, I understand that I may not have been there all the time, but hey, look at those PlayStations.
Like, what are we talking? I don't understand. Like, in general, already, I don't understand. But specifically, after he said that specific thing, for you to come back with that, it's like, what are we
Yeah, Discord, the legend herself.
Absolutely. So here's some of the responses from social media. Candace Marie Bembo, who, you know what? I've increasingly noticed a good amount of people that I follow in any way that are the extremes of defending things that I believe need to be defended. And I don't agree with a portion, like decent sized portions of what they say. I know I always used to talk about that, but like, I'm surprised the amount of them that I have not discarded, because maybe surprised isn't the right word, but like, I'm kind of proud that I still have a certain amount of them that say so much shit that I disagree with, and I don't just like talk about that shit. Like, I absolutely still follow them because I understand how necessary. Like,
right. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, like, but anyway, so Candace Marie Bembo says, Monique's son said something that toxic parents never seem to understand. To repair the relationship, the parent must be willing to do most of the heavy lifting. Nigga.
Yeah.
Nigga.
Yeah. May I remind you, parents, you brought them here.
You brought them here. They didn't ask to be here.
And look, none of us did.
Right.
But the reality is there has to be some form of accountability. And the person that was there from the beginning of this person's life, who had the higher cognitive function and therefore the responsibility of taking care of them, not the other way around, is the one that's going to have to put some effort in it, especially if you broke it.
Yep.
You broke it. So you bought it.
Yeah,
it's really that simple.
I'd imagine the percentage of parent-child fractured relationships that were caused by something that the child did is very low.
Yeah. Like, you know, of course, excluding obvious egregious stuff like this kid did something so out of character of all the other kids that is something else going on there, because they were all raised by the same people.
Right.
I'm struggling to even find what that could possibly be, because something can be still blamed on the parents. Child walks into a school with a 30 round clip and starts killing his schoolmates. Wow, that's egregious and horrible. I'm sure someone can find a way to look at the parents and go, hold up. What wasn't y'all doing that made y'all not see this?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, that don't just happen. I've raised kids that my kids have walked into a school.
Brown.
I was raised, right? And I was raised in a fucked up ass environment, and I still didn't walk into a school.
Never.
I had been beefing with people in the school. I just put hands on them, or they put hands on me. Now, what happened out in the neighborhood, that's something different, but it wasn't in the school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was never a situation where I was going to do something to somebody who didn't do something to me. They're literally walking in these schools, killing kids, and ain't got nothing to do with nothing. They just fuck it, I'm just killing them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can't tell me that the parent, you ain't see no signs. No.
Not a single. Well, unless you're that neglectful of a parent,
which is Which makes the point, right?
Right.
Because you wasn't there to see it, because you wasn't there to see it.
Yeah. So somebody gave her pushback that I responded to. He said, it is tough. Hurt people. Well, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me go through the whole thing. So she said that, I'm going to reread her tweet. Monique's son said something that toxic parents never seem to understand. To repair the relationship, the parent must be willing to do most of the heavy lifting.
Yep.
Someone said, having had a very toxic parent, I completely disagree with this. We have to get away from this self-centered thinking. It's a race to the bottom with literally no winners. There's so much more strength and reward and forgiveness. She says, it's scary that we see requiring parents to do the work to repair the harm they've caused their children, self-centered thinking, and a race to the bottom. He says, it is though. Hurt people, and oftentimes their hurt/trauma predates ours. Intentional and unconditional love can be a great vessel for healing for both parties. And my response was, the idea that you have to forgive the person who hurt you specifically enough to give them access to do it again in order to heal with no proof that they've changed is stupid, outdated, and false.
And dangerous, actually.
Super dangerous. What the fuck are we talking about? And somebody made the point that a lot of these people fighting back on this idea are either parents that had these issues or children who are ashamed that they forgave their parents.
Now they feel the same. And really, you shouldn't, because sometimes the reason you forgave them is because that's a trope that's probably pushed upon you by a lot of people. Oh, you got the
blood thicker than water. You only get one father. Blah blah. This, blah, yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, man. Look, my father, my biological father, was a piece of shit in my eyes for a lot of fucking years growing up. I was a grown ass man when I found out what turned him into that. The only thing that did for me was now have his villain origin story. So I don't have the exact same amount of venom towards him as I used to.
Right.
I still did not excuse what he did. You know what I'm saying? Like that still does not excuse what he did, because I can almost guarantee you there are a bunch of other people that went through similar shit, maybe even worse shit, and they didn't do
similar impetus, but they didn't
do that. But so it's a balance, it's nuance. Like, yo, see what turns you into that. I'm still not giving you that as an excuse for what you did to my mom and what you did to me and my brother. Correct. Still not gonna give you that as an excuse. Nope. And eventually to what you did to my sister, because the dealings that I had with him and my brother are older than my sister, quite naturally. So that's different. My sister got the tail end of the shit as she got older and hadn't divorced herself from the situation, because she still had wanted this need to have a father in her life, and he ain't do nothing but disappoint her. He ain't do nothing but disappoint her, because he never addressed the issues that was with him.
Correct.
And that gave him, to your point, forgiving him and trying to do that sort of thing with him, without knowing whether or not he's changed, he got help, none of that stuff, only gave him another opportunity to hurt.
That simple.
That's all it did. Simple.
Cindy, where did it go? Where did it go? It went away. Cindy said, and it doesn't matter if it's your parent, they don't get a free pass because they gave birth to you.
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with my mother and hate the idea that I have to excuse her. I mean, that's like, bro, what are we talking about? Home. You can understand the monster's reasons, but it doesn't excuse the actions. I'm just saying, like, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. Somebody else said, where is it? Somebody else said, the conversation for the past week or so following Monique's interview has been holding others accountable for the pain they've caused you. But, checks notes, Monique's son holding her accountable is where we draw the line. I mean, come on.
Look,
come on.
Well, y'all are broken. Some of y'all are fundamentally broken. Some of y'all are ego driven to the point where you don't want to be made to feel like maybe you shouldn't have been so easy to give them that pass for that shit. Here's the thing. This is what I mean by holding yourself accountable doesn't necessarily mean this. See, when you were born, there was paradigms and tropes and ambient understandings of things all around you before you even got here. Thanks. And when you moved into this space of reality, right, and you grew up, you were inundated with all of those things. People telling you, I think they trying to do the right thing. They saying, you got to forgive them. You forgive for you, not for them.
Yes, I do believe most of them believe that they're trying to do the right thing. Yeah.
Guess what?
It's not a one-size-fits-all thing.
You may have put yourself in a situation to get abused again. And in the cases that you didn't, you lucked up.
You got lucky. Yes. That part. People discount luck so much. People don't understand
probability, bro. All luck is probability, bro. Exactly. It's probability.
Exactly. Somebody else said people wronged Monique and she was right to talk about it. She wronged her son and he's right to talk about it. It's not complicated. Hey. Right. It's not complicated.
Right here, what Nessa just said. People think since you have a title in your life, they get a free pay.
Bro.
No, you don't get it. No, you don't get
somebody else.
Depends on what you did to me.
Yeah.
Others that I care
wholly about. Depends on what you did.
Yeah.
That's the context that matters.
Yo, my biological put his hands on my mama.
Right.
There ain't nothing you can say.
Nah, bro. At this point,
ain't nothing you can say, bro. Nothing.
Yo, to Palm's point, he said if she fought for her son as hard as she fought Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels and Oprah Winfrey, their relationship would be golden. That goes exactly with this post. No shade. The way Monique is expecting Oprah and Tyler to do the heavy lifting and fixing the wrongs they did to her, she needs to do the same with her child.
And they ain't bring you here, Mo.
Right.
You're not responsible for you being here, Mo.
Facts. Another one, Monique's son didn't really throw dirt on her. He basically said, please stop acting like you wish for something that you're not taking any real initiative on.
Yeah.
I mean,
he basically told you, because one thing about Monique, right? She's not the only one that does this, but she is definitely, because she has the platform that she has and the name that she has, I'm gonna use her as an example for all that shit. You got a form of self-righteousness about you that's unwarranted. Right. It is completely warranted for you to talk about those who have done things that have you aggrieved. 100%, you have a right to talk about it. Thanks. But the way you talk about it is the reason I think your son responded the way he did.
You have to understand two sides to a story, right?
Yeah.
Nigga, I'm glad you said that, because a part of their response video was something about let it play out, just like everything with Tyler and Oprah and all that other stuff. I let it play out, and y'all saw what the truth is. It's crazy how one side of a narrative can be out there, and that's what y'all run with. Mo, you are the one side of the narrative.
Yeah,
you were the one talking about this.
Interviews about
Salon just decided to respond. Yeah. You have been talking about this for a while.
Years.
And here we go. Somebody said, I don't think Monique's son is wrong, but I also don't think he's willing or ready to forgive on the level he would need to begin to repair that relationship. Because fact is, your parent can't go back and change things. You can only give grace and room to move forward. That's not what anybody is fucking saying. Nobody is making the argument that Monique is blameless or that she can change the things that have been done. That's not what anybody is saying. And it goes into this other person saying Monique's son didn't disrespect her one time in that lengthy video he posted. She mentioned their fractured relationship multiple times in the press. He is now offering his side of the story that she brought to us first.
Yeah.
And
would I prefer for none of this to be out in public? Of course.
Yes.
Of course. But the reality is she's been talking about it. And
you can't throw the rock and hide your hand.
That's what it is, bro. It's the throwing of the rock and hiding of the hands that really get me kind of Like I'm looking at you, and yo, these people are crazy with some of their takes about a lot of this shit. Because it's like at a certain point, since she decided to go public with all of this shit,
right?
This is what accountability looks like when he speaks.
Absolutely.
That's what it looks like. Accountability doesn't always look the same for every situation. It just depends on how that shit comes out of the rub. But the reality of the situation is she's public. She in front of a camera. She was on Club Shay Shay, bro. That's getting so much engagement now.
Bruh.
The world is watching that shit.
Yep.
You coming out, you talking about the stuff in the way that you're talking about. And again, it's that self-righteousness, bro. And it's a turnoff. And you will allow it if you think she really didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing here that's wrong. There's nothing that she did. So I get why. But we know that's not true.
It's not true.
We know that's not true. So
she proved it in her response.
Right. You coming off like that is wild. Yeah. Little babies. That was your little see. Come on now. Don't ever refer to me. Just because I watched the Parkers, a couple episodes of the Parker. Don't ever refer to me as little babies and all that shit. Nah.
Yo, the craziest part about it to me, though, is, well, a couple things. One, the facts that he came with that are only verifiable because you've been talking about him.
She's been running her cake hole. Yeah.
When he says that you for a good portion of his young life felt like you were still that 15-year-old girl. That's a quote. That's a quote from you. You've said that in public. That's not something that he just conjured up. That's not something that you may have said to him in confidence in a therapy session or something.
Said that out loud.
You said that shit out loud with your whole chest. So, like, what are we talking about? And then the other thing that burns, is them trying to insinuate that the reason he is lashing out is because of his mental issues.
Why does he have mental issues?
Bro! Yo, like, what are we talking about?
Why does he have mental issues?
The idea that in his video he said something to the effect of, you know, you and your daddy, because that's what she calls him. That's what she calls him. And then in the response, they're like, Monique's like, all this you talking about, he's my daddy. Well, he's been Uncle Sidney to you before you were born. All right. Well, in that case, because Shalom was like, for him to say he has 3 children, and then you to come on and say that there is a 4th, that don't work. That don't add up. And apparently, now I don't know if this is true, but this is what somebody, because again, I wasn't watching Monique's 40-minute response to Shalon. Apparently, somebody basically said Shalon and his next youngest sibling are from the same father. The idea that Monique claimed that Sidney, you wouldn't call Sidney your father because he was Uncle Sidney, but the second child you had with the same father, Sidney refers to as his child. How is that? That's not equitable.
There should never be a time where your uncle becomes your daddy.
Listen. I mean, I can't really argue with that point. I can't really argue with that point.
Why does Sidney claim one and not the other?
Right.
Can we ask that question? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about my stepfather, Lawrence Wayne Williams. Erica was, because I was, because Lawrence was.
Right.
Erica's kids was, his grandkids, because my kid was his grandkid. All that, well, I choose you, but not this one, is crazy when you're marrying the mom.
Yeah, it's wild. It's super wild.
It's super wild.
What are we talking about here? But yeah, like Monique, do better. Because I be trying. I really do be trying. Like
I do, because I think some of the stuff that she put out there and exposed was probably necessary, simply because what the fan base tends to do with these venerated celebrities and people of note is put them on a pedestal because their public face spends millions of dollars on PR and shit to make them look so many. They're giving money to charity and all this other stuff, and we tend to see them a certain way that they're not necessarily. We gotta hold these people feet to the fire, because if you put yourself out there as a role model, then there's some accountability that has to come with that. Now, if you didn't, then no. Right? If you didn't put yourself out there like, hey man, first of all, I don't tell y'all about the money I give to charity, because this ain't about y'all.
Right.
I don't try to put that face out there that I'm this great magnanimous person. I am a person with a talent, and you appreciate the product of that talent, right? And that's what we doing. And when I see you, because you have spent so much money, and so much of your mental energy promoting my stuff, unbeknownst to you, that's what you're doing when you talk me up. My stuff. When I see you, I'm gonna give you the respect of somebody that, hey man, because of you, I got paid. Appreciate that.
Right.
But do not expect for me to be this other person, because that's not me. And I don't want to shoulder responsibility of people thinking that I'm that way. Do that.
Facts.
But that's not what they do. They spend a lot of money and making sure that the world sees them a certain type of way. And in that way, they want to get the it's really all marketing, because everything is all marketing.
Yeah.
That's supposed to end with the bottom line. Yeah. These people who are fans of my stuff feel good about me.
Absolutely.
So that when I drop some shit, have a new product, have a new song, whatever it is I'm doing, movie, whatever I'm doing, they come out and they support that. Also, these are my cushion, because if that song wasn't that great, if that movie wasn't that great, they still fuck with me.
Right.
So they still willing to give any of the stuff that I do a chance, because that public image that I spent a bunch of money to have them believe still has that desired effect. It's the reason why with Elon Musk, before you started hearing him speak for himself, you heard others speak about him and people liked him better. The moment he started speaking and you started hearing certain things, he started getting liked less.
Yep. Very simple. Very simple.
Just saying.
All right, let me do this dumbass of the week before we get out. There isn't much to this. And this isn't actually new. I think it happened a few weeks ago, but I just saw it again this week. There's a producer named Lil Rod. He is credited as a producer on 6 out of the 27 tracks on Diddy's latest album. Why do I know his name?
How do you know his name?
Because he's made a video talking about how much time and effort he put into the making of that album. About how he had to stop all the projects he was working on. And, I mean, everybody doesn't know about the creative process behind music, but you put a lot of time and energy into whatever a project ends up being, especially when you're at those levels, because you have, like, he ended up with 6 songs. He probably made 30 beats, if not more. So he was talking about all that time and effort and having to stop working on his personal stuff in order to make that album. And stop me if you've heard this before, he's saying that Diddy is shafting him on the publishing.
No, he doesn't have an experience of doing stuff like, oh, wait a minute.
I get the idea that one may assume that, oh, this is Diddy. This is such a big look for me. I understand the idea.
about to say.
But are we just throwing common sense and actual evidence out of the fucking window?
Well, hold up. When have we ever factored in?
Bruh, you're right. My bad. Listen, I find it extremely hard to feel bad for dude. Like, I would like to, like, the humanity in me would love to feel bad.
Yeah.
To have some empathy for this guy. However,
are you saying, let me see if I understand what you're saying. Are you saying that someone joined the leopards eating their face party,
bruh,
and then got surprised when the leopards start eating their face? Interesting.
The work that was being done in this album was happening around the time.
This is a fact.
Around the time that Diddy made headlines for giving people 20 and 30-year-old publishing.
Right.
Now, is it possible that because you were working on this new album, you were sequestered from that information? Absolutely.
No,
it's possible.
Possible, but it ain't possible. Yo, these things about Diddy have been talked about.
Have existed since been pimping, since been pimping.
Not gonna give you that.
I just don't understand. Like,
you're a dumbass.
The lion bites.
You know, it's an old saying. In the jungle,
bro,
the mighty jungle. Lion sleeps at night. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, what are we talking about? I don't get it. Like, what's this? Just
you, sir, with all due respect, I have no respect. You bent over,
bruh. What?
This knowledge about who Diddy is as a person, long before all these other accusations came out, has been out. Like, yo, I've never met Diddy myself. I've been a few degrees separation from him because I knew people who were part of a record label that he was helping fund, right? In Baltimore. I knew people that was part of that. Right. So I was a few degrees separation from him. But these things were going on, what's being talked about then.
Right.
Then. Right. So, nah, sir. But I know it's like you said. He probably thought in his mind, this is what happens when y'all do shit like this. You think about all the good stuff that can happen, but you don't spend one iota of mental energy on all the fuck shit that could happen.
Nigga. Like, what do you mean that he's stiffing you on the publishing? I've never heard of such thing.
You don't say.
Did he? He would never. I mean, he only had a decades-long feud with the Locks about this very thing.
But you don't understand. He changed his name from then.
Right. And then after he changed his name, he had a feud with Black Rob and Mark Curry about the same thing.
Oh.
And then after he changed his name, the feud with Mace that had been going on for a decade had heated up again.
You know what I used to think about a lot of that? I used to think that, Puffy comes from a bygone era in the music industry where this is how he was taught.
No,
this is how
that's absolutely the case.
Right?
However, Andre and they kind of instilled that. Way. Yeah.
What's the name? It's quite a few of these motherfuckers, executives up there. This is how they did business. But the reason I stopped letting him skate on that is because enough time has gone by and enough information about how this is really toxic, predatory behavior has been out there. So for you to wait all these years to give some people their money and then you let Black Rob just go out broke, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, B, because at the time when Black Rob went out broke, we've all long had the discussion, especially those of us in the music industry, long had the discussion about how predatory these record companies are and executives are and blah, 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 and there's all this stuff. This has been out in the zeitgeist of the music industry for a long time, and still you didn't change your funky ways.
Well, here's the thing, though. Because of the way that everything was mapped out, you have no reason to believe this person.
Yeah.
Like, he got the shit with the Locks got resolved. oh, maybe he's changed. No, because the Black Rob and Mark Curry shit is still happening.
Right.
Black Rob died, and it's like, oh man, I wish I would have such. Okay, but the shit with Mace is still happening.
Right. So you ain't changed the goddamn thing. And the thing is, we don't know why the shit with the locks got resolved. We don't know what happened behind the scenes. Because I'm just gonna put it out.
I heard something about a refrigerator.
It's some real niggas behind I'm trying.
I heard something about a refrigerator.
It's some real niggas in the lot. I'm just jumping. Look, we don't know what was said, what was pressured, what was applied pressure to,
right?
Physically. To make that happen. Yeah, like we don't know what borough somebody was standing in front of. We don't know. And listen,
again, I will repeat. I kept hearing something about a refrigerator being involved.
Yeah. Listen, music industry been had gangsters in it,
bruh.
And any of you who think that public face that they show up the music industry, this is why I hate the music industry. Anybody that thinks that public face that they show everybody is what it is, same with Hollywood.
Yeah,
you're fooling yourself. Fact. You're fucking fooling yourself.
And to be clear, Diddy's included in that. Like, it's not like Diddy ain't right. Diddy has been known to put hands on people.
Yo, we ex Drake. Oh,
nigga.
Oh,
there was a thing with J. Cole.
There's a thing with J. Cole. It sure was.
And it's like, all right, it just so happened that he allegedly ran into some gangsters that was more gangster or had more power behind them or whatever the case may be in the Warlocks.
Yeah.
And
listen, gangsters deal with gangsters. I'm telling you now, there are certain things that I am not at liberty to talk about that I know about Diddy, about some of the people that he's done business with, because I know people who know these people, and there are things that I'm not at liberty to say anything about, and I will never say anything about it publicly on the airwaves. Yeah. But I'm telling you, gangsters deal with gangsters.
It's funny how this whole, I know that's not exactly what the topic is about, but it's funny how this whole Diddy's 2023 went. Like, I believe the first thing that was making headlines was the Pac stuff.
Yep.
And then you hear about the publishing thing. And then you hear about the Cassie situation.
This is how it started.
Bruh.
This is where it's
I'm sorry, before the Cassie situation, you hear about the album. How he's bringing this brand of R&B back and everybody loves the album and the album's so great, which it may have been. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm pretty sure, given the people involved, I'm pretty sure it was a dope album. Yeah, but nigga, none of that matters. You can't dance your way out of this shit.
And just as an aside, that's part of this music shit too that we did not discuss today. But I'm just going to put this out there for people to disabuse people of any delusions that they may have had. Beyonce made a country album. I listened to the 10 seconds of one that sounds like this is a country album. This is a modern country album. This is not a hybrid with like Lil Nas X did, which I could see people having that's maybe no. This is a country.
Here's my thing with this. Simultaneously, because again, two things can be true.
Right.
Simultaneously, I want nothing to do with that shit.
No, that's
I don't want to see anything about it. I don't want to hear anything about it. But at the same time, it's absolutely country.
It's
100% country. Matter of fact, God damn it, I didn't want to bring this up, but here we are, because I think I bookmarked this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? Somebody, So apparently there's been this increasing thing where people believe that people with avies of black people that say a bunch of anti-black shit are bots, and probably some of that is true, but you cannot say that some people are just anti-black. Like, it's just a thing. Like,
I think with the reason why people do that they're in denial. I've seen the same level of denial about all these matters of racism when they when they literally took Martin Luther King and distilled and boiled him down to the "I Have a Dream" speech, and didn't listen to none of the other radical stuff saying about capitalism and none of the other shit. Like, this is the same thing. They want to take these little. They don't want to acknowledge.
Like, effectively, according to them, he finished the "I Had a Dream" speech and got assassinated.
Right. The day after the "I Have a Dream" speech, he was assassinated. So he never said anything else, y'all.
None of the other shit he said.
He never said nothing else. None of that shit. Like, because in all honesty, I know people are fixated for a reason with the nonviolent stuff. His political agenda is not all that different from the Black Panthers, Malcolm X's, any of these other groups that y'all call. These are the radicals. These were the bad guys, the villains. They were the demonization crew where he was turned into a messiah.
He was the most hated man in America at the time of his death.
They said the same things about him as they said about Black Lives Matter. There's literal political cartoons where Martin, they have an image of Martin standing there, where behind him everything is burnt, and he's saying, "Yeah, and I think this was another great peaceful protest." This is the same sentiment, and I know that some of the same people saying that now would have been saying that then. They couldn't stand his ass back then. And that's why I said, like, it's just the way it is, man. Listen,
I don't know. The whole delusional thing isn't.
It's delusional, bro.
Yeah.
It's delusional, bro.
Yeah.
What the line that that Martin Luther King was a Republican, as if, and they bring up Ronald Reagan and say Ronald Reagan is the one that signed into but guess what? Y'all only focused on him signing that into a thing as a national holiday. What you're not focused on is every single policy was championed by Martin Luther King. He voted against it. Every single one, just to distill him into this one fraction of a speech that said the content of the character and not the color of the skin. They won't even read that whole quote about how he was talking about his daughters. I don't want They won't even read it. Just that one.
People want to talk about stuff back then and not mention things like Iran Contra.
Yeah,
not mention things like COINTELPRO.
The FBI is funny as shit. Every year, they post on their shit about Happy Martin Luther King's birthday when these motherfuckers were sending him messages telling him to kill himself. Funny as shit. But it's all fake. It's all fake. Phony.
It has to be a simulation.
It's all phony. It's phony as shit. And we like the phony because it takes accountability away from them.
Yeah.
You know, it's all fake. It's all bullshit. It's all a fucking game.
It's a major grift. So this one guy says, Black Abby and everything. Beyonce is singing with a country accent. Like, come on, man. That is the definition of playing with someone's culture. She was born and raised in Houston, Texas. She a very prominent, a well-known fact about her is that she did hours and hours of speech therapy to try to get away from her accent so that she could be more palatable and marketable in life.
Let's help those who may not understand how the music industry was, especially during the time when Beyonce got into it, because this is not new. This is not new. In the industry, at least they used to. They don't do it as much anymore. But in the industry, they used to have people that would go up there and get this raw, uncooked talent and make them right for prime time, for
artist development.
Part of that was getting rid of, if they could, accents that didn't fit into their marketing thing for this person and the market share they wanted them to have. That's part of it. She had to go through hours and hours and hours and hours of that shit.
Yeah.
And now that she's does an album where she's using her accent that she had all those years.
But even on top of that,
What up, DJ?
she's used that accent in recent times because she's now Beyonce and doesn't have to not use it anymore. So, but anyway, he made that, and then there are people, like, what the fuck you talking about? Somebody said a black woman from Texas is about as culturally country as you can get. His response was, "Oh, that makes her a cowboy, huh?" So somebody says,
"Oh my goodness."
Somebody says cowboys and cowgirls are stolen culture as it is. One could argue she's reclaiming culture. He said, "Oh, that's what she's doing, reclaiming cowboy culture. Even though it's black cowboys and girls that really live this shit, she is doing country music, using their image to make her sound even more real." But okay, now all this from a person. Now, to be fair, let me point this out real quick,
okay,
because this is the reason I didn't want to talk about this shit. I have mixed feelings about her doing a country album at this point in her career. And I'm probably scarred from Drake doing this shit. But there is going to be, just by sheer osmosis, there are going to be black country artists that get overshadowed and overlooked and get their resources and their shine taken away from her because now Beyonce is in that space.
Absolutely.
That is going to happen no matter what. There is nothing that she can, and here's the worst part about it is there's nothing she can do to prevent that once she has made the choice to do a country album.
And there's also good things that come with it too.
There are going to be great things that come with it too.
Her having a hit country album that is authentic country music does open the doors up for future. So it's a mixed bag, like you said.
Right.
It's a mixed bag with that. And I would also say, while they're sitting there trying to use the whole cultural appropriation on someone that was born and raised in Texas, and by the way, likes country music. She likes country music,
right?
Wouldn't it make more sense to say, oh, she co-opted East Coast or non-Southern? Because we went, but notice none of us said
nobody said that, right? But that's the reason I didn't want to bring it up, because we spent the last 2 weeks talking about how people don't understand nuance and right. But anyway, the same person, of course, got caught with a issue. One of their posts previously is Iggy Azalea. The Australian-born woman.
Oh my!
His post was, "Iggy's voice is sexy when she rap."
Sit on that. Anybody, hold on for a second. Let that marinate,
sir. So Beyonce, a black woman from Houston, Texas, is practicing cultural appropriation because she's using a Texan accent in her new songs. But Iggy Azalea, a white woman born in Australia, who does not, I can't say never, but there have been clear times where in interviews and stuff, she's not speaking with the accent that she raps with. But that's sexy. Y'all got it. I just don't. I want to say I don't understand. But I definitely still, I get it. I wish, I don't even know what to say about it, because this is so clearly and obviously egregious that you kind of just throw your hands up in the air when you hear some shit like that. Like, for you to make both of those points from the same account is kind of crazy. Exactly, Cindy. Like, what are we talking about? Jonathan says she gave up on the Grammys and going to win Country Music Awards. No, I would argue that, one, this is a further attempt to make the case that she should have won Album of the Year from the Grammys at this point, because literally by going to another genre, if she ends up winning the Grammy for Best Country Album and doesn't win Album of the Year, again, this is just going to add. It's going to add to her case that she's building. Also, this is effectively her second album in a row where she is implementing aspects of a genre that African Americans had a lot of influence in at one time and no longer have that amount of influence and recognition in, and she's quote unquote reclaiming. So this is Act 2. Whatever Act 3 is, there's been speculation that it's going to be a rock album. I don't know. But yeah, there were a lot of people who predicted this before she actually, dropped the songs. So I don't know what Act 3 is. Again, I think it's going to be a rock album, but yeah, it's what she's on right now. And like I said, it's conflicting because I get it.
This is legend shit though. And I think
no, facts.
Yeah,
Without question.
I think people who aren't, I'm not trying to be denigrating. People who are not legends and will never do anything legendary, will never be seen as legendary, will never be able to break any of these records because you live a regular life. I'm not denigrating a regular life because that's it. Amazing, right? But y'all, it's hard for those that don't to understand what motivates those that do.
Yeah.
And at the state where Beyonce is, she's won more Grammys than any other artist, period, since it's been Grammys, right? Like she's and that's one accolade above probably 100 more records that she's in broke about certain things.
Thanks.
At a certain point, it's not about the money.
Yeah.
She has all the money she could ever need.
She's proving a point.
Grandkids, at a certain point, it's about proving a point. Because at the end of the day, I say this to people all the time, money is a tool. You use that to improve your life and hopefully improve the life of people around you, but it's not something that you're supposed to have some emotional, affectionate attachment to because it's not warranted. And once you get it, you then see now that all of your needs are taken care of and stuff like that, there's still a hole. Because there's something else that you want to be chasing, that you want to focus your life around, that you want to have meaning, and it's not just getting money. Right now, me and SPJ, we want money.
Yeah.
But we only want it to be able to take care of all of our shit so that we can focus directly on the things that really make us happy.
Facts. All facts.
And that's what she's doing. That's what people like her do. When they get to that certain status where there's nothing else she actually needs to prove about who she is. She's her. She's her, right? But there's other things that's out there that she's looking at as that's a bullseye, that's a target. And what she appears to be, at least outwardly, because I don't know her personally, she appears to be somebody that at some point in her life became very legacy conscious, especially when it comes to her being African American. Certain things that you see that she does in her activism and even in her music that let you know that at some point she was like, well, I got all this money and this influence and shit like that. I'm going to do some things to try to elevate things in my community that haven't been appreciated or don't get looked after or none of this stuff. Now, it's not completely altruistic. Of course
not.
Because she's a
billionaire.
She's not a businesswoman. She's a business woman. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So she's feeding a lot of people, right? So it's not completely altruistic. No one's claiming that. But you can't tell. Listen, as an artist, I'm telling you, there are certain things that you want to accomplish just to say you did it.
Yep.
Just to say you did it.
Yeah. And again, it's why I pointed out that accent came back once she became Beyonce.
Exactly.
This ain't new. This is not new. If you listen to certain of her songs from recent albums, even in singing, that accent has started to come back.
Like,
because she doesn't need to. Right.
I ain't gotta do that now.
Right. So,
and now I'm a cowgirl. Deal with it. No, excuse me. I'm back to being a cowgirl.
Right. Somebody pointed out. Somebody was like, "Yeah, you're right. This is entirely new for her," and then showed a collage of pictures of her wearing cowboy hats from the years and the years and the years past. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like,
some of y'all be speaking out of turn. Now here's my thing, right? Ignorance is a disease, but it's one that can be cured.
Yes.
Right. So some stuff is just ignorant. In other words, you didn't know.
Yeah.
What's crazy is when you jump out of that window and you didn't know, and then when somebody grabs you before you hit the floor, they go, hold up, yo.
You like, unhand me.
Allow me to drop. Listen, I'm trying to save you from making a spectacle of yourself here.
Right.
I prefer to be wrong. Wow. Boom, hit the ground and splat all over the place. Like some of y'all really be like, when people come up and correct you, don't see that as an insult. Stop seeing being corrected as an insult. Right. And for the love of whoever you worship or don't worship, please stop trying to incorrect me.
Bruh.
Don't incorrect me.
That ain't worth it. That ain't
Doubt it.
Yeah, so we're on to the week in review. So, facts, Cindy. Formation is a perfect example of that accent coming out. Another song, Drunk in Love. In Drunk in Love, when she's doing the little rap-ish part, that accent is there. So, like, what are we talking? Like, anyway.
She gives no fucks. My week really wasn't that extensive. So I'm gonna go first. So, guess who came over here? Remember a little while ago,
Full Scratch.
I used that too, by the way, fairly recent. Old Scratch. So, remember I told you guys that we had an inspection where the city of College Park once a year comes around to different houses and checks certain shit. Mostly it's about fire, prevention and shit like that, but that sort of thing. So the person that came over here, it was actually two people. They came over here the last time and they did their checks and they found things that we already knew, because these are things that we had already told the landlord about. I've been here for a long time. I've lived in this house right now for a long time. And it seems like time just flew by, but yeah, I've been over here for a while now. So every time we had this inspection, they send a different inspector. And a lot of times they each find different things that they want to bitch about. Each one of these things, with the exception of one, have all been told to the landlord previously. All of them. All of them, Kevin! I'm devil's advocate. So he knows. And he hasn't done anything about it. Now, these people came over that first time for all these things, but this time they want to do follow-up. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. We'll take this list and send it to him and see if he's acted on it. These people come back here. Didn't even know they were coming back that day. Mother-in-law didn't know. Wife didn't know. It just pops up. I don't let people just pop up come in my house. Listen to me, because I want to make this very clear. My folks pop up. Sure, come on in. People I don't know. You don't come in my house, pop. I don't care if I saw you before. You came over here for official, whatever. No. So he said, fine, that's cool. I just want to know if those things on that list were taken care of. I went, no. Let me go down the list. Okay. Such and such. No. Such and such. No.
No, you should have gave him. You should have gave him no in a different language every time.
That's what I should.
No,
yet. No in English. Yet. Le in Arabic. Like, yo, I should do the whole thing. I should have. But it didn't cross my mind. So he, I guess, is supposed to get in contact with the landlord. The landlord comes over here, and I walk him through this that I told you about before. This that I told you about before. This that I told you about before. And this is new, but y'all said y'all was going to take care of that, and you still didn't. It's still like that. Oh, and by the way, the fuse box. None of those things are labeled. So the only way we know when the shit pop is we got to really take a flashlight, look at that, and try to find the breakers, and then do the little jiggle thing. Okay, this is the one that's fuse box. These all need to be labeled.
Right.
That was earlier this week. Some of these things don't require a bunch of work. Some of these things are just 15, 20-minute fix.
Yeah.
Labeling the fuses probably takes a little longer because in order for him to do it, he's going to have to shut stuff down, figure out what's all that other shit. Some of the other stuff, no. It is now Saturday.
Yikes.
Pretty sure the next time we have an inspection, if these people don't come back, you're going to hear about it.
Yeah.
Hey, but it'll be different people.
Oh, yeah.
So absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one thing. Oh, by the way, did I tell anyone here? It may have crossed my mind. I don't like people in my house.
Well, okay, right. That's not new. That's not new.
I don't really.
Gotcha.
The other thing, had a doctor's appointment this week. Set up because the yearlies are important. Getting those yearly exams are important. You might hopefully catch something before he goes crazy or does something that is irreparable to your body and shit. So I'll call myself being proactive. Also, it was some issues I wanted to discuss because as an older man, I'm having certain physical issues. See if there's something we can do about it. Maybe something blah blah blah. Make sure it ain't something crazy.
Right.
Currently, I'm dealing with something. I don't feel like talking about your shit till I get the testing and all that other stuff back.
Right.
But I go there. I'm sitting. It's packed. Packed. Just around 9:30, 10 in the morning. It's packed. Finally getting to the doctor's office. My doctor does not see me. Apparently, he has another assistant or whatever. She comes to see me. Talk to her. Tell her what's going on. She looks at the computer and was like, you aren't really supposed to be here for an exam, a full yearly exam until April. I went, ain't that She said, now we could do it, but you have to pay costs out of pocket. Oh no, not doing that.
Wait, completely out of pocket?
That's
I know that if I know
except for the blood stuff. Except for the blood stuff, any blood work.
Hold up. So maybe that's just a function of your insurance, particularly, because I know with my insurance, like the annual checkup is a certain amount. Anything that you come for that is not the annual checkup is a slightly higher amount, not like
the whole thing.
That's
what she said. Now, of course, this does not include the blood test, the urine test, and all that.
Right.
But the other stuff, EKG, all that shit. So I told her about other problems I was having. Some of them are fairly recent. And she said, well, we can do a blood test. Let's do a blood test now. Let's just get that out the way because we don't have to pay for it. All right. So when did the blood test shit? First of all, before I did the blood test, I went back out there and waited again. And waited.
Yikes.
And waited. Oof. And waited. Now, let me remind you guys that before you go and take a full exam, and they got to take blood and stuff, you're not supposed to eat for 12 hours before that. I am a ravenous eater for ravenous appetite. I've already gone hours now, nearly 15 hours, without consuming the souls of humans.
All right. Okay.
So I am literally famished, and I tend to get grumpy.
Point of order, sir.
No. So at a certain point, I marched into the room where they were doing the blood stuff at, while somebody else was in there getting their blood thing.
Yo,
I was like, "Are you done here? Can I come in here to get my
yo
out of pocket?" Admittedly, so.
Yo, I get it though. No, I understand. I understand. Hey, listen, you should have had,
you know what I'm saying?
A little treat.
And look, I actually brought myself something.
Yo, this course said, bro, to bring a Snickers.
Yo, listen, I brought my GU book bag because I had some stuff in there that I was gonna scarf down after all this was over. Right. No such thing. So I finally get in there and get the blood stuff done. I confirm again, I'm not paying for this, right? Fuck that. No, you're fine. You're fine. All right, cool. Went and they did that. And then the assistant that came to see me asked me, she said, "I'm going to give you a referral to a urologist." I said, "All right, cool." So I have to go there. This is ass. First of all, I have a appointment with them March 14th. I said, "Why is it taking so long to get these goddamn appointments and shit?" Well, talking to my mother-in-law, find out that at least she's covered by Kaiser, at least there. So it had to be a lot in the industry. You know what I mean? Doctors quit during this pandemic shit and afterwards.
I'm not surprised. But also Kaiser is trash.
Yeah, Kaiser's trash. But a lot of them just fucking quit.
Yeah.
And there's a shortage. And that's why it's taking so long. There's a lot of times to get these appointments. So I can't this about a bitch. So whatever discomfort I'm feeling, I'm going to have to feel that until I get to a specialist and hope it's not something that, damn, you just came 2 weeks earlier.
Bruh.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whack. Sauce.
The
other thing about this week, quite a bit of content that's going to be coming up next week and the following. I did a interview with Christopher Colburn, who is one of the authors on Majestic that has brought their IP to Majestic to get published, introducing, basically asking questions about the characters, the overall synopsis, his take on his creativity, why he decided to write this and do all that stuff. That's an interview that's already done. It's in the can. I also did 2 podcasts with Graydon, and we decided to do this method where we're just going to stack them, right? And then just be releasing. So it's going to be plenty of content coming to Patreon and YouTube in the next few months. And that's always a good thing.
Absolutely.
Also, there was a couple of things I needed to fix with my store. Those things are fixed now, which is why you see me sharing the thing now. Shout out to the people that went and supported. Appreciate you. This stuff should be coming now that I fixed that other thing. Right. This stuff should be coming, but I appreciate the support, and there'll be more designs up there. Periodically, there'll be more new merchandise designs, whatever. So if you like it, go snatch it. Wear your armor. Fly your flag. We believe.
Remember, we are Legion. For we are
many. And that was my week.
Oh, okay. That's
told you wasn't much.
There's an up and down to that. All right. So, quick side observation. I had noticed in my periphery of the shenanigans through the week that Tyrese lost his girlfriend for a really funny reason.
Can we get a moment of silence with Tyrese's lost his girlfriend?
No, apparently they're back together. Oh, apparently they're back together, but this is a hilarious reason. This is his post. Dummy. My Super Bowl plans are fucked. Power outage in my neighborhood, so I'm going at them. And me and Zell just broke up over some dumb shit. Remember this. She demanded that I cancel my album because there's too many songs about my ex on there.
Wait a minute, what?
What? Ma'am.
Cancel Christmas.
Listen. I have done a lot of shitting on Tyrese over the years. And matter of fact, we just talked about him the other week and his shitty ass takes on things. However, if you're going to be in a relationship with, let's call it what it is, an international superstar, it behooves you to have a little bit of an understanding of what they do.
Sir.
To know that he just had a very public divorce.
You think he wasn't going to worry about it?
And to know that there has not been music released since that has all been finalized.
You think he's not going to write about a mess?
And to know that he is an R&B artist.
And to know that he hasn't really had a whole lot of movies or any of
that
recently. So
what the fuck you think this album going to be about?
How you think he pay his bills, B?
Right? Like, what are we talking about?
Huh? Listen, I write about old shit all the time when I'm in the right mood.
Right.
Shit that I mean, I no longer even be involved with these people. But something happens, go, this would be great for a song. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. Right?
Like, the answer is right in front of you.
Yeah. It's literally, it's a billboard. In neon lights.
Like, ma'am, again, apparently they've reconciled, but the fact that you
should have walked this time ago.
Nigga, listen, there ain't no reconciliation. If you, this is what it kind of reminds me of when I was with my ex and she had an issue. Remember that shoot that we did?
I remember.
Yeah, with Ashley and Court, what's the name? Cushion and them.
This is
yeah.
So in case you guys don't know, 2 years ago, this man was all over the photography shit. Photography, videography. We was making money off of it. All that shit. This is actually our first client that we ever had, and this is the second time she hired us. Right? She had a boutique selling clothes and stuff like that. So the first time we just took pictures of them out there in Federal Hill in Baltimore, just completely. Matter of fact, this was the first meeting we had about coming together to start some business shit like this. Right? And we just happened to walk upon work.
No photographers? No, we just carrying around cameras and tripods and shit.
We were carrying around all kinds. This is one of our first times being around each other, like the second time or some shit in person, right? We had cameras and all that stuff because it was a nice day. While we downtown, we was gonna get some content or something. Right. We had all this camera gear with us. We're headed back to SPJ's ride, and we see these women, and they complaining that their photographer didn't show the fuck up. And then they asked us with lights and camera bags, lenses, all this other shit. Are you guys photographers? I was like, no, we paint ceilings. Listen. But despite that, asking all obvious questions and shit, despite that, they hired us. You remember that, Cindy? Remember that? When I talked about that? They said, well, we didn't do it. So we got money that day, and then we did such a good job. She hired us again. We go up there. Everything is everything. By the way, I learned more about photography at that session there,
nigga,
than any other time, any other thing that we did from the mistakes.
Yes.
I learned so much, and then having to fix the mistakes. I learned so much. I think we shot over 1,000 pictures,
bro.
that day. We shot over 1,000 pictures that day. It was crazy. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, that's the backdrop. Continue, sir.
When I got home, my girlfriend at the time was slightly upset, right? When she saw the photos as I was working on them, she blew a fucking gasket. Ma'am, what do you mean? I am a photographer. And in the situation that we're in, the way that this industry exists, they're going to be women.
Going to be pretty girls.
They're going to be pretty women. And a good portion of the time, they're going to be doing something to enhance their sex appeal for the shoot.
That can mean being scantily clad. That can mean posing a certain kind of way.
And to be fair, they were relatively covered up.
We were.
This wasn't wasn't like a lingerie shoot or no shit like that. No, they had clothes on. Bro, Cindy said, imagine if they had been both doing. Nigga, I would have been single then.
Yeah, you would have been single.
I would have been single immediately.
She saw that, like, what the fuck?
It's like, bro.
Didn't she want to come?
Yes. She was like, I want to go. No, you don't. First of all, that would be highly unprofessional of me.
Yes.
Given how I know you would react. Like, what are we even talking about here? Man, get your shit together. Nah, that just it was.
I remember that shit. I remember you told me. I was like, wait a minute, what? She wanted to. And here's the thing, man. This all be time. We wasn't looking for all that.
No.
We had a wife. We had a girlfriend. We didn't care about nothing. We was trying to get the best. What we were attempting to do was find other streams of revenue doing shit we like to do.
Yeah.
You know, the dream for most working people, right? They want to be able to make money doing something that they like to do. We like photography, we love videography and shit like that.
Yes.
That's what we were trying to do to get the bag, to bring the bag home.
Facts. Just that simple. Nothing. There was no. To put it very clearly, I was heavily into the photography thing from like 2018 to 2021.
Facts.
Worked with, I could kind of say dozens.
Yeah.
Of prospective models and all that. When COVID first hit, everybody wanted to be a model.
Everybody wanted to be a model. Yep.
Everybody wanted to be a model. I can say, matter of fact, I can count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. And this is just people that I've done like any serious amount of work for. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
I still got a bunch of them pictures on your hard drive.
26. I'm looking at folders.
See?
So I just again, people I've done serious work with. I got to like 25 different people.
Right.
Out of everyone that I did not know before I shot with them, I may have had any type of even familiar
right
relationship with them after that point with one.
Yeah.
One.
And listen,
singular.
We was putting in work, big. We shot commercials.
Facts.
We were putting in work. Bro, the idea that the insecurity was at that all-time high, it's kind of crazy. Shout out to my wife, by the way.
Bruh.
Not a
nigga.
She know I ain't going no goddamn
nigga.
She know I ain't going no goddamn where.
Honestly, shout out to Chrissy, because at that time, I had said something to Chrissy about it, and she was just going off about how ridiculous
because it's absurd, bro. It's absurd.
How ridiculous of a take that was. I'm trying to see if
because you be awesome, and then they hit you with the. It's not that I don't trust you. I don't trust that. Whatever.
Right? Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Like, am I supposed to be stupid?
I'm a grown ass man.
The idea being,
that's what I don't want to do.
And I'm not making this. I'm glad you said that. I'm not trivializing this in any way, but the implication being that I'm going to get raped because,
right?
Because that those two don't make sense. You trust me. It's them you don't trust.
Yeah.
What could they possibly do?
Yeah, because I'm so damn hot.
Like I'm so hot and helpless.
One of these days, what I'm going to do, because I still have gigabytes and gigabytes of video pics from just our experiences being out there chasing the perfect shot and shit. I'm going to put together a collab with some of the places we done went, stuff we did, the fun times and shit we had with that. That was literally like, that was some of the funnest shit that I've ever done, period. I'm talking even going to theme parks, all that. Just me, James, Keith, out there in the wild. Ooh, look at that. James with his general philosophy, anywhere there's water.
Dope
shit.
You can find something to shoot. It's just that simple. Like, it really works out to be that simple, though.
It really
anywhere that there's water, you can probably find some dope shit to shoot. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just that simple. Oh man, I'm looking through these folders. I can't find the fucking pictures for that shoot. That's what I was trying to. I'm seeing a bunch of nostalgic shoots, but I cannot find, because I wanted to show the people an example of what these motherfuckers was wearing, to express how ridiculous it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
this one says he only has a Canon and 59. He wants to get back in it. Cindy says she might want to get back in it. Let me tell you something. You should. I know Cindy says it's not the time now, because that's kind of where we are with it. But if I had the opportunity, it just for nothing else but nostalgia sake, me and this nigga would be going out there with our cameras right now. Spacal.
Without question. Like, what are we talking about?
Right. That shit fun.
Hold up. God damn it. Where is... Oh, there are... Oh, never mind. I'll never find it. But anyway, moving on. Because she was being ridiculous. But... random. I was... Wednesday, coming to work, I had forgot to bring my lunch because there was an interruption to my morning routine.
Oh my!
How my brain works. Whenever I have something planned, if there's something that interrupts that for a minute, it's over. It's over. I didn't forgot everything. Yeah. I had stopped. I think I had went in the kitchen and I washed some dishes, which is not a morning thing that I generally do. And when I finished washing the dishes, I went back into my room, finished getting ready, walked out the door. Never went back in the kitchen to get my breakfast. Just comment. Oh, hold up.
That's funny.
So I come to work. I tell Marcus, like, hey, what you got for lunch? He had something, but I was like, walk up to the food court with me and get, so I can get something. He's like, all right, cool. So we go.
Oh, damn. Cindy, you damn sure did find that shit. Damn. Bruh.
I can't see it because it's my old profile.
I'm about to give you a link, sir.
Put it on the screen.
Oh yeah. Why am I doing that? I can just literally put that on the goddamn screen. I'm about to. Fuck this. This is nostalgia. This is the first shoot we did where we made some money together. Like,
right.
Look at this shit.
Thanks. And here's the thing: the shoot that my ex had an issue with, they were more covered.
They were more covered than 100%. 100%. 100%.
There was nowhere near as much cleavage in the second shoot as the first one.
We walked into this, y'all. We walked right into this.
Facts.
Crazy, bro. Oh my goodness, remind me. Yo, they called the police on us.
Bruh. Yo, it was a whole ordeal.
James intimidated a wedding.
That's not
it was crazy.
Exactly
it was a crazy.
That's not exactly what happened.
He intimidated the entire wedding.
That's not exactly what happened. I mean, it was their fault. What happened was their fault.
Hold up.
God damn it.
It was right here. This spot right here?
Yeah. No, it's not. That's not where it was.
Isn't this what the Dolphins and shit?
No, it was where the egg was.
Oh, okay, where the egg. All right, bet.
Yeah.
Listen. Motherfuckers all dressed in their wedding best. They got out of there like, oh shit. Here comes a dread.
You stupid.
Here comes Judge Dredd.
Yo. But anyway, so I didn't have my lunch. I asked Marcus to walk me to the food court. We in there waiting for my food. And this lady comes up and orders from the same place I ordered. She's up there for a while. And I'm thinking that she's up there for so long because she might be a little indecisive or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. I think there's a different reason.
Oh, damn.
So when she finishes up there, she walks toward us because we were where the seats are. Mm-hmm. As she walks by, she appears to be not visually, but maybe she had Bluetooth or something. But visually, she didn't appear to be doing anything. But I'm hoping that she was on the phone,
right?
Because as she walked past us, she said, and she kept repeating variations of this. By the way, she said if she wanted a dick, she should have gotten a Coke, Dr. Pepper, or a root beer. But she clearly wanted a pussy. Pussy sodas are Pepsi, ginger ale, and Sprite.
Really? Really?
Just continued to say variations of that.
Wow.
I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What is going on? There's so many questions I have.
I don't know. Exactly, Cindy. Exactly.
I'm like, yo, what? First of all, are you on the phone or are you talking to yourself? Second,
listen, if you want to feel funky, feel funky. You know what I'm saying? Those toast right for me.
Second, what do those specific genitalia have anything to do with sodas?
Bro, I overheard this one girl this years ago inside a GameStop talking about, man, PlayStation is gay.
See, but hold on.
PlayStation.
I'm glad you said that, because if her comments were like that, I would have understood. It still would have been stupid, but no, she wasn't saying like you're a pussy if you like this soda. No, she said Dr. Pepper, Coke, and root beer are dick sodas.
But I don't even how
Pepsi, ginger ale, and Sprite are pussy sodas. Not like you're a pussy if you like these sodas. No, that they are that thing. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't understand. None of that
makes, I have
I don't
no
know
concept.
what the reference is. Like,
bruh.
I don't know what
like
that is.
What? What are we? What is? What
I don't know
what
we're
mean?
what? Huh?
What? Right. Very right. So much right. And it was so difficult for Marcus and I to not bust out laughing while this was going on, because, like, again, she repeated this.
So she was saying this like this is some.
She was saying this shit from her chest. Whoever she was talking to, she was expressing herself about this particular situation.
What's weird is, what if that other person understood the reference?
Listen, then I'm lost. I don't belong here, clearly. I mean, all right. So moving on. You know how they say eventually the parents start acting like the children?
That's what my kids say. Go, what'd you say?
It's how it goes. That's how it. So I definitely have an example of that. My mother, my dear mother, has some type of spam issue on her phone. This has been going on for at least a year, likely multiple years. The point is, it's been a while. She has several times asked me to look at it. I have several times done just that. Some of those times I didn't do anything. Other times I've done a lot. Over the time that she's been asking me, I've tried the vast majority of things that I know to do that don't have a risk of making her phone inoperable.
Yeah.
Because, like, with my phone, I'll try those things because I have the will and drive to do whatever is necessary in time.
And it's your phone. You willing to take
it's my phone, right?
Yeah, you willing to take.
I don't do some of those things on other people's phones. So several times ago, in addition to doing whatever I did, after I finished, I told her she needed to take her phone to T-Mobile so they could look at it.
Facts.
Sunday, she sends me a screen recording of the spammy stuff happening. So I said to her, "Have you been to T-Mobile?" She says, "No." I say, "Why not?" She sends me the Homer backing into the bushes meme.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Lady.
Man.
Please go to the goddamn store and show them people your phone. Clearly there's something wrong with it.
Something wrong. Something going on here that maybe they can correct.
Bruh, like what? So yeah, they don't listen. They don't listen because that's not the first time I told her to go to T-Mobile. Like, have you gone to T-Mobile? No. Why haven't you gone?
This is what I'm mad about. I'm mad that you are not officially a parent so that your kids can tell you that. So that they can, seriously. I'm mad. I'm really mad.
It's a cycle. It's a cycle.
Yeah. Look, talk to my sister about my mom. It's a cycle.
It's a cycle. It's how it goes. All right. Now it's time to talk about Chrissy's dumbass supervisor. So this is another example about how I talk about something on here and then it happens in real life shortly afterward. For those of you who don't remember, I had a rant on here based on something that happened at work, and we got into a teachable moment where I expressed that if you are an otherwise well thought out person and you encounter a situation where you don't have all the information and the conclusion to which you've arrived doesn't make sense, it's probably because it doesn't make sense and you've arrived at the wrong conclusion.
Yeah, probably. Pretty sure.
Chrissy said the part she was waiting for. So I've mentioned that we're moving soon. The screening company that my company uses called Chrissy's job to verify her employment. The person in charge of that got on the phone with the screening company, started ranting to them that in all her years as a supervisor, she's never heard of someone asking for the salary of a prospective employee, and then got off the phone with them rudely.
Whoa. What? So
I'll repeat it. She said, In all years as a supervisor, she's never heard of someone asking for the salary of a prospective employee and then got off the phone with them rudely. So, common sense should tell you that if you've never had a job that is trying to hire somebody, call you to ask you what their current salary is, then maybe that's not what's happening now.
Exactly.
What are we talking about? Why is this a thing that humans do? If you think it doesn't make sense, why are you accepting it as a fact in a field where you claim to have experience?
Yeah.
In all my years as a supervisor, yeah, right. That you've never experienced that thing because it's not a thing that happens. So clearly, this is not what's happening right now. What is I don't understand. Yo, it bothers me so much. I don't understand. Like, if you're going, here's my thing. If you're going to be wrong with the experience that you've gained.
Yeah.
That's what I've been wrong before, but in this instance, I feel like if you're going to be wrong with the experience that you've gained. Be wrong with like for instance, that nigga that's crying about Diddy taking his publishing. If you're going to be wrong in that scenario, have been that you didn't work with Diddy because he has a history of stealing people's publishing.
Right.
Not, I'm looking at this contract that Diddy gave me. I don't feel like somebody who's willing to give me my publishing would have these type of figures in their contract. Or you're right.
Your goofy ass didn't get a and you ain't understand what the fuck you was reading.
Bruh. Like, I don't get it. Why are people like this? You have clear and strong evidence that this is not a usual thing.
No.
Therefore, it is possible. If you have enough faith in yourself, you should be strong enough to realize that you're right. I just don't get it. It bothers. Like,
right?
I'm used to, I guess a part of it is that I'm so used to hearing people who are so confident in their incorrectness.
Yeah, facts.
That it bothers me when people are unconfident in their actual experience, their lived experience.
I think at this point we're all broken because of how strong people be when they wrong, and for people like us, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, we have shame,
right?
We don't want to be spreading stuff that ain't, and if we are, we want to be honestly wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, bro, nobody's gaslighting you. It doesn't make sense because that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Did she ever figure out that?
No. And here's the problem. Well, yes, she did figure it out, but the problem is it's not as big a problem. Like, I can come on here and joke about it because it doesn't really have the effect that it would have had I not been an employee of the company as well.
Yeah.
If I was not an employee of the company, this could have fucked up our application.
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I can actually joke about it a little bit because it actually has no effect, but it could have been disastrous. Like, what do we? Because think about it. As a screening company, if you're trying to verify somebody's employment and you get to somebody that's like, well, I've never heard of this happening in my life. Blah, 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 blah. Click. Wait, what?
That is crazy, yo. That is crazy. What? Never call here again.
This will not stand. Like, what are we?
This ends now.
What are we doing? Like, people, like, I don't know. I don't know, like, if it's the environment that you're in. I don't know if it's actual trauma from people actually gaslighting you. Be confident in what you know, or what you actually know,
or she on that stuff.
Look, or well, hold up. There's an alternative. You can just ask questions.
Yo, that's the other thing too.
Hey, what is this about?
Yeah, like
that would have alleviated so many issues.
Just like the idea, bro. There was a whole book called "Asking the Right Questions." We bought it so that the kids could read it when they were kids. Asking the right question, because it's important.
It's very important.
It's important.
Super important. Like, it's one of the most important things you could do. All right. So this last thing is also connected to the whole moving process. So at my job, you have a normal application, and then there's a variation in factors when the applicant is a current tenant. Another deviation from a normal application is if the applicant is employed by the company.
Right.
Those are three situations that are handled differently. I do not fully understand the differences with the one where the applicant is a current tenant, because it's been so long since I last did my transfer. Right. But I do know some of the differences for someone who is an employee. We don't give the rental office, when we apply, any of our payment information, because all of your coworkers don't need to know how much you make without your consent. The head of applications downtown will get the application without pay stubs, and then they will go to HR to get the pay information for that employee. Right. Here's the problem I ran into. It starts off with the fact that Debbie broke her arm and she's out. She's the head of applications. If she wasn't out, our applications would have been done and approved by now. I have easy access to her, and she knows all of the rules for all of the scenarios as the head of applications. Right. I couldn't risk waiting to find out when she would be coming back to work, because we wanted to move by April, and because I'm an employee, I have to move in on the first of the month, because that's how our work, because my rent comes out of my paycheck, and that's how the payroll deductions work. You got to start your lease on the first. So also, because we don't have a bunch of vacancies, especially at any of the properties that I would want to move to, I had to grab a unit whenever I could, whenever one was available. Right. We can't hold units without an application attached to it. There happened to be a unit that was ready to move in that had an app on it, but the person was taking too long to give some pieces of info that were necessary to get an approval. So the office told me that it might get put back on the market soon. So I basically checked in until it was. The plan was for me to do my app as soon as that happened, and for Chrissy to do hers as close after as possible. It turned out Chrissy was off the day that I was going to do my application. So I figured we could both put our apps in that same day. So I got there. I got to the rental office before her. Here's where the next issue came in. First, I didn't remember if I had to pay an app fee since I was transferring from one of the company's units. Right. Then, hear me out as far as logic is concerned about this next mistake. Logically, it makes sense to me. Maybe I'm bugging. I have worked for this company for 17 years full time. And I have lived with this company for about 10 years. If they know who anybody in the world is, it's me. In order to do an application, we require that you have a social security card or a tax document with a social security number on it, a birth certificate or passport, a valid ID, and pay stubs or bank statements. Like I said before, as an employee, I'm not supposed to give them anything with my pay on it. Right. So I didn't have my pay stubs with me. As a current tenant, I've already had to give all the identifying info. So it's already on file. So I didn't bring my birth certificate or my social security card with me. I never even thought about looking for those things. Right. I get in there to do the app, and she started telling me about these documents I need to have. And I'm like, wait, I work and live here. She was adamant that I couldn't even start my application without those things.
She bugging.
Mind you, this wasn't somebody new. She wasn't new. She wasn't a part-time agent. No, she had been my coworker for at least 6 years.
Wow.
So Chrissy was on her way. So instead of panicking and fussing, continuing to fuss, I just went and got the money order for Chrissy's application fee, and she came and did her application. So days are passing and life is happening. So there are things that are delaying me getting back there to do my application.
Right.
So in the midst of that, I realized that I'm not really sure what my birth certificate or social security card are. Okay, no problem. I work at the main downtown office. I can just go get my print a copy of those things from my file.
Why don't you know where your birth certificate is?
They somewhere in here. I probably could find them if I looked, but there's a lot of shit going on. It wasn't me looking. No. But that's a valid question. It wasn't me looking and not finding them. Mm-hmm. It was me not looking because there's a lot of shit going on.
Well, yeah, but the reason I'm being asked is because there's been several times over the last few years. Like, where's my goddamn? Several times over the years. Like, I can put my hands on it now.
Right.
I know exactly where, because I got a special spot for all that. But there was,
nigga. If I took the time and dedicated to finding them, I would probably find them. But it wasn't what was happening. So, I was like, oh, well, I can just print copies of them from my file because they're on file. Because again, I live here. So I went to look for my file. I see the 2018 file, which I actually moved into this unit in 2017.
Right.
But the 2017 files have been archived. So I didn't have access to them. So I'm like, all right, I'll look into the 2018 file. But the 2018 file didn't have my fucking social security card because my 2018, it wasn't me moving. It was just me getting my ex off of the lease.
Right.
So it didn't need all of that documentation. So without your social security card, you can use your W-2. But again, we aren't supposed to give our coworkers any payment info.
Right.
So I can't give her my W-2. So I talked to the guy who's filling in for Debbie, and I told him what the lady said, and he damn near called her an idiot.
Oh, damn.
For the exact reasons I mentioned earlier.
You said he damn near, so he can't.
He didn't come out and call her an idiot, but he damn near called her an idiot. And because for the reasons that I mentioned above, like he said, his first words out of his mouth were, "We know who you are." I said, I know that. I'm aware. And I said that to her. However, that was not sufficient for
her mouth.
Bruh.
Like, we know him.
What are we talking about? We know who you are. I'm like, yes, I'm aware.
Give him the money he's going to be using to pay for this.
Us. We give him the money that he's going to be using to pay us.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Wow.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Wowzers.
So he ended up calling her and selling her like, why are you holding up James's application? And she's like, he didn't have his documents. She's like, we have his documents. What are you talking about?
Bro, this is insane, bro.
And he's like,
insane.
Just take the app. I'm like, well, shit, I didn't want it to escalate to that level, but
fuck that, I did.
No, listen, here's the thing. I try not to use these things because for several reasons. One, if I use the connections that I have downtown and someone feels like they're slighted by that, right? They might see something that they perceive as me not doing something I'm supposed to do.
And then try to.
Right.
Here's the thing. I just like the fact that you said my connections downtown.
Listen, goddamn, I work downtown. Right, I've worked downtown for 15 years.
In the vacuum, without the
in the vacuum, you're right. Yes, you're right. You're right. You're right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the exact reason why I don't like doing that shit. Because, like, and then
Don't make me have to go downtown.
It's a part of my job, nigga.
Don't make me do the downtown.
That's what I'm saying.
On your ass.
And then you stupid. And then on top of that, it's literally a part of my job that they trust me.
Yeah, that's true.
So if I start pulling in,
they're gonna start looking at hold up, man.
Right? Like what?
Look, I get that, but I also get that you're a better person.
No, personally, no. Oh, whoa, nigga. Personally, I loved the fact that he called her.
Of course you did.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
You did.
Like, what are you? This is James. We know James.
This nigga got the mayor to call.
Excuse me. And another one of our coworkers made a very good point. She was like, yeah, she's just trying to follow the rules to the letter because had she not, she might have gotten in trouble. Sure. However, it's me. Right.
You know, and then she could have rolled that. She could have ate that because literally, we know him. He works there.
No.
All she had to say.
Blame it on me. Put it on me. Yeah, don't even say. Don't even. We know him. No. James said it was okay.
Right.
Fine. That's it. Fine. 100% fine. Because as the head of
discourse.
That's funny. As the person who was filling in for Debbie mentioned to me after he got off the phone with her, he was like, "This is a no-brainer. I don't understand the problem. This isn't an exception. This isn't us making an exception. No. You work for the fucking company. We have your information. It's not, the rule isn't no matter whether we know who you are or not and have verified, we need you to give us new documents.
We need to have verification. We already have these documents, so that's not really
twice. I'm sorry, more than twice, but from two aspects. Yeah. You had to identify and verify who I am in order for me to start working here.
Absolutely.
And you had to identify and verify who I am in order for me to start living here.
Absolutely.
What? Like, I don't know our official policies on transfers, but I feel like in this situation, because I'm a transfer and because I'm an employee, I should be able to walk into any rental office with my application fee, write most, not all, of what is needed for that application.
That's facts.
Without handing them a single other piece of documentation.
No, that's facts.
And turn that shit in, and it should be it. I shouldn't have to do any of the other stuff because I drive for my job. That means that because of the insurance, I have to prove to the company that I have insurance on my car. I wouldn't be able to do all these things if I didn't have a license.
Right.
So therefore, I have a license. It's always on me. That's not an issue. Me bringing my ID in is not a fucking issue. I'm going to always have my license on me. Every fucking thing else, that someone had to collect it from me at some point. The only thing that was in danger of expiring was my license. And I have that on me.
And my patience. It was in danger.
Yes, sure. It was there. Absolutely. Because I ain't gonna hold you. The only reason I didn't do what I'm about to say is I don't know if it's allowed. Also, because here's the thing. On top of me being a tenant, on top of me being a fucking employee, I'm the one who implemented the application system that they're using. So I know the ins and outs of the system.
Bro.
If I wanted to, again, I didn't because I'm not sure if it would be allowed to do this. If I wanted to, I could have done that application from my seat at the desk downtown.
Bro, you being the one that set this up and then still had to go through this inconvenience here,
bro,
is on a smaller scale, way smaller scale, similar to Charles Drew inventing blood transfusions,
nigga,
and then dying because he was black and couldn't go to the hospital to get the very thing he invented to save his life.
Thanks. Like, bro, what are we doing? What are we talking about? Oh, it won't let me do the application if I don't. I know how to circumvent that. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
I know what I have to do in order to not have it triggered. What?
I am he who knocks.
I mean, a little bit. I ain't gonna hold you. And I told her, like, do you have any this? And when she first said it to me, I said, do you have any idea? Because only 2 of our properties use this application system. And I said to her, I said, do you have any idea how many times the other office that uses this system does applications and then later on people have to send them documentation? It is a thing that is doable. Well, I don't know what they do there, but we don't do that here. Okay. All right. See, clearly I don't need to be talking to you.
You shouldn't have been the one to talk to her, but also that's why you should have led with. If you want to ask her any question, it should have been, you have any idea who I am?
Okay, see, stop it.
What? I'm just saying.
No, nigga.
You might have got a different.
That is not the. Yo, you funny. That's probably true. I probably would have.
It's me. I am him.
I mean,
Timothy.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now we're going too
Timothy
far.
Cricket.
Yo, now we're going too far. Now we're going too far. But it's just like, again, I feel like I shouldn't have to do that. Like, again, this isn't somebody new. This is somebody. Matter of fact, this is somebody who's been with the company and knows that I lived here at that point. That she was with the company before I did that second application. No, we're cool. We don't have any issues between us. This was literally her doing letter of the law shit where
with you,
and that's why I said I feel like it should be made official policy that if we have your documentation, we're not going to bug you for your documentation. That should be made official policy.
It should.
But it's not official policy. So on that level, I understand her stance, but it's like, I just hate the idea of going above somebody's head.
Peep the game, yo. It's already above you. Peep the game, yo.
I mean, it was.
Imagine we got this big ass office, multi-borough entertainment. We got security guard down there in the lobby. And when you come in order to go up certain escalators, you have to show them the ID to be able to go up to those escalators.
Right.
And you and me walk in. I'm doing my usual trolling shit, rolling your eyes. Chrissy and Yetta is out there getting something they left in the car out there talking and shit.
Right.
And the security guard say, "Excuse me, fellas."
All right, but you're being extreme in this situation because in that situation he would be fired.
Nigga, out. My hand. This is my bad. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
Who the fuck do you think you are? Like what? Look at the fucking wall. Look, that's my ID.
Our pictures. An old painting. It's an old painting of me, you, and Addie. The wall. Yo, I'm saying,
look at the wall. What are you talking about? You see that framed photo of the original logo for the Black Culture Geeks? That's the original cover. Like, what?
Nigga, I didn't grow hair since then.
No, you're being super extreme. No, it's just that this is gonna be an obvious statement, right? But I just hate when people make life more difficult for me.
You could have really truncated that.
Yes, I hate people.
I just hate when people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. That's absolutely true. But it's just like, yo, what?
That's crazy, bro.
Like I said, I do have a bit of empathy because I understand the whole letter of the law thing. I do get it. However, with me though,
I know,
like
it's still him. I'm still him.
No, that's not the point I'm making. I'm making the point of you know exactly who I am. Like when I was going to do my application on a Saturday, I was like, yo. I was talking to one of the managers, like, yo, who gonna be there that day? Because if it's somebody I don't know, this interaction might go differently than if it's somebody who knows me and knows that I work for the company and knows that I live with the company. Right. So That's what I would have expected from somebody that I didn't know.
Yeah. But she
that didn't knows
who you are.
Yes.
Like the way I am. Like,
I mean,
you walked up in there, like your application, your name is all on the fucking application. Now, yes, someone else could have the name James Davis. It's not like
a bunch of people have the name James Davis.
But it's just the point. You know that this is me.
Yeah.
You know it. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
My name is somewhere in your office with my number under it. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, you're fully aware of we've gone to happy hour together. Like, what are you?
That's crazy. That's crazy as shit. If your computer starts smoking right now,
bruh, who you gonna call?
Not Ghostbusters.
Fuck you, no.
It's gonna be me.
Right. You got an issue and you can't print. You gonna be like, yo, imagine, because it was another agent in the office at the time. So imagine I'm having this conversation with her, and the other agent like, James, come look at my computer real quick.
Yeah,
nigga, like, what are we talking? Anyway.
Yeah.
This one said, remember how I fixed your email and it's been working so well? It doesn't work anymore. Get it. It's gonna take me a month to get around
to it. Cause I'm doing it. Letter of the law.
Yeah, I gotta have to report this to somebody and then wait for them to tell me the steps that I need to make. Like, right.
You put this in the system? Cause
no, I'm here. It's not working. I'm gonna fix it. Which should have been, I'm here. You know the fuck I am. Let me put my application in.
Damn it.
But yeah, that's the note that we're gonna end on.
First, I want to thank everybody once again for showing up for another rousing episode of the Black Culture Geeks Saturday morning cartoon block. The place where where shenanigans are born and thrive. Do not forget that there's always music.
And if everything goes how it's supposed to, there's going to be a lot of
inside but yes, there's always music. There's always comic book content that's coming via the comic book itself, or podcast or content around it. So if you have not, and it so suits you, become a Majestic One, jump on the Patreon and get this exclusive content. Also, the ReaperLegion.com store is up.
Facts.
So all of my Legionnaires, go in there, see if you see something you like, and support the store. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Also, do not forget, Chrissy has her Heard It Through the Grapevine podcast. And guess who was on there?
I was on there Monday.
Yeah, exactly. He was on there Monday, so you go check it out. It's still up there on the page. Go check it out. And I overslept or did something, but I was so mad. I went back. I was like, oh man!
I'm so happy that you weren't there live, nigga.
I wanted to troll this. I really wanted to troll this bad. I was mad. I was like, I can't believe I missed this shit. And I was going to troll like post show, but it ain't the same.
It's not the same effect. Yeah,
I can't get the exact same immediate gratification. And shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, don't forget to go and check that out as well. Shout out to our boy Addy. Shout out to our sister Marissa. And shout out to Nessa for showing up. We ain't seeing you in a minute.
Yep.
But anyway, for my man SPJ,
I
am Dead Man, and for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.
Peace.